Day 2 of the European Athletics Team Championships First League, live from the Cadbury Stadium in Tallinn. Good afternoon from Will Downing and Dick Hooper. It was quite the opening day. Some great performances from Ireland, 3 victories. Brian Gregan in the 400 metres, Paul Robinson in the 1500, and Thomas Barr in the 400 hurdles. And those 3 men are having a tremendous campaign as usual, and it can only, you would hope, for them get better. High finishes elsewhere. Kevin Batts in the 5,000 metres, he finished in 3rd place, and there were some high finishes on the track for the women as well. Anne-Marie McGlynn 4th in the 5,000 metres, Kerry O'Flaherty 4th in the 3,000 steeplechase. 5th place finishes for Amy Foster in the 100 metres, Roseanne Galligan in the 1500, and the women's 4x100 metres relay finished 5th as well. It's a points competition, 12 nations involved, and the top team per category, 45 events, get 12 points, 2nd place 11, and so on. So Ireland were in 8th place overnight, and we'll give you the full ramifications of the group tables very shortly indeed. But Ireland did magnificently on the track yesterday. Realistically not so great on a global scale in the field event. So the position heading into Day 2, Ireland lying in 8th place and hoping they can get another few victories today. Mark English and Fionnuala Britton are both in action today. We'll also see David McCarthy competing also. So Dick Cooper, it was a positive opening day for Ireland, though I feel perhaps, even though they're only 20 points away from the top 3 of the promotion spots, I wonder what the feeling would be with them that they're in 8th place at the moment, because there were some great results.
On the track yesterday we were fantastic. In fact, we scored more points on the track than any other country. We scored 108 of our 133.5 points came from the track. So we are strong again on the track today, so I would expect a major contribution from some of the bigger names there, Mark English, Sarah Lavin, David McCarthy, the relay teams, etc. The field will have to step up to the plate and contribute a bit more if we realistically are to push for promotion. We're in 8th at the moment, we're 22 points off 3rd spot, but it's all to play for. But it is a very, very good weekend so far for Irish athletics. Today is a typical Santry day. It's wet, it's gloomy. Anybody who's sat in Santry and brought the wrong gear would be familiar with what it's like out there. But significantly, there's very little wind. Temperature is about 10 degrees, and it'll probably creep up a percentage or 1 or 2 centigrade. But overall, it's a good day for athletics, and in particular for an Irish team. So I would be hoping that we can get up the table there today, Will.
First action on the track is in the next couple of minutes. We'll be seeing Sarah Lavin go in Heat 2 of the women's 100 hurdles. I can tell you we've already seen, before we came on air, Aoife Hickey with her first round throw in the women's hammer. It was around 55 metres for the Kilkenny City Harrier, so that puts her in quite good stead at the moment. In terms of the league classification, the top 3 of the 12 go up to the Super League, which is where Britain and Germany and the likes of those are competing in Braunschweig this weekend. The bottom 2 go down to the 3rd flight, the 2nd league. Finland lead with 161 points, Belarus second with 156.5, which is fantastic considering they were promoted last year. This is their first season back in the 2nd flight, and Romania are in 3rd, 4 points ahead of Greece in 4th. Norway are half a point behind them in 5th. Lithuania are 6th, Portugal 7th. Ireland are in 8th place, 22 points off the promotion spots. That's basically 2 victories if Romania in 3rd were to finish bottom each time. Estonia and Belgium are 9th and 10th, but realistically right now they're not worrying about relegation because Slovenia and Hungary had a very poor day yesterday. Hungary bottom, they are 35 points adrift at the moment. They have 85 in total, Slovenia 101, Belgium 120, Ireland have 133.5. Now, as Dick alluded to as well, in terms of those who did so well for Ireland in the track yesterday, eliminating the field results, if this was a track-only competition, and if is the most meaningless word in sport, let's face it, but in terms of the track, Ireland were top. 108 points. Norway second on 103. And then in joint third, Belgium, Estonia and Greece. So we will start with the first of the track action, and this is one of the home favourites, Grit Shadeko, in the opening heat of the women's 100 metres hurdles. The European under-23 heptathlon champion from 2011 and the World Junior Championship bronze medalist in 2008. She goes in this, and pretty much the class of the field in terms of what she's won. Rina Tomic of Slovenia goes in 2, Ana Margarita Oliveira of Portugal in 3, Grit Shadeko in 4, Ana Maria Nesteriot of Romania in 5, Sonata Tomasayaita of Lithuania in 6, and Aksina Maidzevzeva of Belarus is in lane 7. But Grit Shadeko, if you weren't with us yesterday, you might just remember her if you were watching last year in Sanchi, because she's the athlete who was competing in the long jump and then mid-competition had to come across and compete in the 100 hurdles, and she false started. I think she was also in the 100 and the relay. It was a busy weekend in Sanchi. She was in the relay yesterday. Estonia did well in that, but she's only, from what I can see, competing in the 100 hurdles today. Sarah Lavin of Ireland goes in heat 2 of this. And away first time, and Shadeko's got away very well in 4, fantastically away ahead of Nestoriot and Tomasayaita. Tomasayaita and Shadeko at the moment, and Shadeko for Estonia is leading the way. Grit Shadeko on home soil in Tallinn is going to win for Estonia. Tomasayaita was coming up, and Nestoriot as well. Good performance from the former Estonian female sports personality of the year. Good performance, good win, and that sets the day up for them. They are at the moment in a bit of a relegation battle, but a victory on a much colder day. It's only just in double figures Celsius today. It is 10. It feels like 10, and that was 10 out of 10 for Shadeko.
Just a reminder on how the 2 races are seeded. That is the second race, so Sarah's in the top ranked race. So the athletes then are graded in terms of finishing time. So you can see there where a 5th girl is tailed off, or a 6th girl is tailed off, so throw a blanket across the first 4/5 there, get a time on them, and then we hope that Sarah will be well in there in the mix. Sarah is one of the great prospects in Irish athletics, of course. She already has a personal best of 13:23. She's widely believed to be the girl who will take over the mantle of Derval O'Rourke. She's coached by Noel Morrissey down in Nina, who's done an absolutely superb job with her all along the line. And this is a big step up now for Sarah today. Ready to go.
Grit Shadeko wins 13.52 with Pesiridou second for Greece and Nestoriot's third for Romania. But they all go into the mix. Times across the 2 heats are compared, and whoever was fastest, and normally that will come from the second heat, gets the maximum points. But as we did say yesterday, Ireland did pick up maximum points out of the opening heat of the men's 4x400 relay last year. So Irish interest on the track today will begin with Sarah Lavin of UCD, competed in the European Juniors in Barcelona in 2012. She went through quite a few rounds, reached the semi-finals, unfortunately went over the final hurdle, if I remember, in Barcelona in the Olympic Stadium. Was on the way potentially to something very good. She goes in this. There's also been a little bit of a swap that I noticed in terms of some of the athletes competing in this compared to the original start list. It's Aidanapa of Finland in 2, Lavin of Ireland in 3, Pettis of Norway 4, Tomic of Slovenia 5, Lena Berings of Belgium, the European indoor champion 2009, she's in lane 6, and Rapazzi of Hungary is in lane 7.
Irish hurdling, of course, is in a great state at the moment. We've got Sarah Lavin vying for the position to take over at some stage from Derval O'Rourke. I'm sure Derval will have a thing or two to say about that over the next year or two. But rivalries are great, and it's great to see Sarah coming through. Then, of course, with Thomas Barr, so exciting over 400 hurdles yesterday. And Ben Reynolds coming up in the men's 110 hurdles. He'd be expected to contribute some good points for Ireland as well today.
Well, Elena Berings pipped Derval O'Rourke on the line in Torino in the velodrome there in 2009 in the European Indoor Championships, and she was the European Junior Champion in 2005 in Kaunas in Lithuania. Kaunas, this stadium here in Tallinn, Bydgoszcz, good tracks, and they do tend to get a lot of these kinds of championships. Tallinn will I think have the European Juniors next year, having had the under-23s in 2011.
The Irish record, of course, stands to Derval O'Rourke at 12.65. That'll hardly be touched today. Conditions not exactly conducive to fast running, so it's all about time, getting as high a position as possible for Sarah, and I'm sure she will do us proud.
It's a very good field though. Berings was out with injury for a year or two, but good Belgian sprinting talent we've seen obviously with Kim Kvaat, who is European champion. Very good hopes for Thiam. Decent heptathlete, very good high jumper. Taking the mantle of the eminently successful Tia Hellebaut. With the talent that is in Belgian athletics, maybe somewhat of a surprise that we've had a couple of seasons of them battling against relegation, as is the case here. Slovenia came up last year. They've got Marina Tomic going in this second heat, and Sarah Lavin, who's now with UCD AC. Noel Morrissey, her coach, hopes high of what she can achieve. But the track results were so encouraging for Ireland yesterday. I will reiterate, the best track performance across the day was Ireland's. More points on the track than anyone else. Field results on a global scale in the 1 to 11, not so much. Tori Pena scored very high in the pole vault, and there were athletes who finished 10th and 11th for Ireland yesterday in the field who are still getting season's bests. Heat 2 of the women's 100 metres hurdles. Ida Napa in 2, Lavin 3, Pedersen 4, Tomic 5, Bering 6, Rapasi in lane 7. 13.52, Grit Sadeko's winning time in Heat 1. Away first time, Lavin started well, and so too did Pedersen alongside her in 4, but it is Elina Berings and Pedersen who are to the 4 here, and also the Slovene Tomic is going well, and that'll be the 1, 2, 3, Pedersen, Tomic, Berings. Lavin was battling for 4th place, and that will look like maximum points for Norway, and they have done brilliantly in the sprints here.
That was a very good race. I would expect that the Sarah might still be ranked top 6 out of this, because the first 3 were very fast today. Didn't get the actual finishing time, but you just know by the carriage of them that they were ahead of what the first race produced.
Well, she came very, very well towards the end, did Isabel Pedersen. Good start from Lavin, great start from Berings, but then Pedersen began to come into her own, and the Slovene Tomic, who had originally been rated in the opening heat, well, good strong finish from her to take 2nd place. 4th for Lavin, definitely. Would have to beat 13.52 to get 4th place overall, but that looks very positive for Ireland in the opening track event of day 2. 13.16 was the winning time for Pedersen, and Lavin takes 4th place, and 9 points for Ireland, 13.48. Pedersen, Tomic, Berings, the 1, 2, 3.
That's an absolutely brilliant contribution from Sarah. 13.48 in those conditions, damp and coldish for sprinting stroke hurdling. There was no wind, but it was, you could just see by the cut of the track there that it wasn't conducive to really fast running. 13.48, 4th place. That's a magnificent contribution.
Well, there are Lots of field events that are going on. By the way, in relation to a couple of races yesterday, I will reiterate, these are pictures from Estonian TV. It is just the one set of pictures, one world feed that every nation is getting. We did speak to Estonian television last night. They do assure us that they will endeavour to give us the climax, at least the final 2-3 minutes of the longer races today. And considering David McCarthy and Fionnuala Britton are running today, that's precisely what we would all wish. Men's pole vault coming up now. Ian Rogers goes in this for Ireland, of Clonliffe Harriers, coached within the family. Dejo Jabo of Hungary was 4th in the World Junior Championship in 2008.
Big day for Ian Rogers, son of Bart Rogers, ex-student of art school LaSalle Raheny. He won the indoor title in Athlone earlier this year. His clubmate Dave Donegan, probably the better known of the Clonliffe pole vaulters, but Ian is getting his first major vest today. He'll do well to get close to his best, and that's as much as I think we can expect from him today, but it is a huge experience, and he's a very young athlete, and he's also a very dedicated young man, so it's great to see him get this opportunity at this level.
Just to give you a pointer of times later on today, in the next 20 minutes we're going to see Ben Reynolds go in the men's 110 metres hurdles. Then at around 11:50 Irish time, Mark English in the 800. Laura Crow in the women's 1500 will be just after midday. And the men's 3000 metres steeplechase will be at 12:25. That features Tomas Cotter of Dunleer. Kelly Proper goes to the women's 200 metres at 12:50. Round 110. Marcus Lawler, St. Lawrence O'Toole's in Carlow. He's in the men's 200 metres. The women's 5000, Fionnuala Britton is at 1:25. At 2 o'clock, the men's 3000 metres featuring David McCarthy. And welcome back to Tallinn, rainy Tallinn. It's Midsummer's Day yesterday. Very, very late sunset. We're around the national holiday week here.
The women's hammer in progress here. Aoife Hickey throwing for Ireland. Aoife's from Kilkenny. Her father Liam was an Irish international hammer thrower in his time. Aoife is over in America following what Liam did all those years ago, and she's making a very good job of turning herself into a class hammer thrower. She has, of course, as her role model down there the great Eileen O'Keefe, who back in 2007 threw the Irish record of 73.21. She finished very high in a world championship down around that time, and Eileen O'Keefe was, you know, a significant player in the improvement of Irish standards. She played a huge part, the greatest Irish hammer thrower for women ever, obviously. So Aoife has Eileen as her role model, and she, as I say, she's doing a good job. PB this year of 60.88. She would be thinking in terms of trying to qualify for the European Championships in Zurich, but to do that she's going to have to throw 68 metres, maybe a little bit outside her compass at this point in time in her development. But we'd be looking for Aoife to throw in a few points into the pot today. I hope she'd maybe finish mid-pack there, so as we could get 5 or 6 points, because we can't leave it all to the track people to contribute these points if we need to push for the promotion that we're chasing. We're very safe now. Relegation is not a worry, so now we're getting a bit more buoyant, and we're starting to think about getting promotion and what has to be done to get promoted. Our track people are delivering all the time, and we just hope that out of the field we can get some points that maybe get us close to that third spot.
Well, there were a couple of good results for Ireland in the field yesterday. Tori Pena finishing joint 4th in the women's pole vault. That was 8.5 points. And Dempsey McGuigan finished 8th in the men's hammer. That was 5 points. And if everybody else in the field events had managed to finish 8th, and I do reiterate there were some season's best yesterday, but in terms of the competition they were lower than 8th. But if everybody else had finished 8th, just 8th, Ireland would be joint 4th overall now. Track performances have been fantastic to date. There have been now 10 top 5 finishes.
Oh, absolutely. We realise what the competition is like out there. It's just when you're trying to get together a team performance, you have to maximise it from everybody who's out there. It's certainly highlighting to us what needs to be done to turn us into a real athletics power. We're on our way, definitely. Some very good young athletes across a huge broad spectrum of events, so huge progress being made in hurdles, sprints, 400, 200, 100. Obviously middle distance we've always been pretty strong, and then isolated field events. We're getting there.
Triple jump field, Dennis Finnegan of React AC goes in this. His coach Vasily Grishchanov. Also in this, Mariana Preya, the Olympic silver medalist from 2004, and Nelson Ovora, the Olympic champion Beijing 2008 and the world champion from Osaka in 2007. Dennis Finnegan is first up. Gets on the boards. Well, just had to pull out of it in the end. First to go, chance to get a solid mark and hopefully get himself up the table, though that did not go according to his plan.
I think the wet track, slippy, and he just got his timing wrong there, so important that Dennis get a jump out there anyway. He has a personal best of 15:25 done in Melbourne in Australia earlier this year, so he can contribute something significant here. And on a day like this in the field events, when the track is slippy and dangerous, you never know what might result. Some of the favourites might be down on their usual performance as well. You can see from the flags in the background there that there is no wind. It's just that it's cold and it's damp here, and that's probably would have a greater effect on the sprinter power athletes.
The first heat of the men's 110 metres hurdles, Latner of Slovenia in 2, Malakauskas Lithuania 3, Hervinen Finland 4, Raja of Estonia in 5, Parakonka of Belarus in 6, and Dumitrash of Romania in lane 7. Ben Reynolds of Ireland is in heat 2 of this.
As for Sarah Lavin's race, time all important here. Glad to see that Ben is ranked so high that he's in the second race. Ben is a significant athlete. He's already got picked for the Northern Ireland team for the Commonwealth Games. He got that time up in Belfast last year at their meet, which is coming up again in July, 2nd of July of this year. Ben, a big strong favourite up there, runs for the North Down club. But let's see how this first heat goes, and let's keep a close eye on the clock.
Well, the potential is always there for a surprise coming from the opening heat of these European Team Championships. A reminder, if you happen to fall over a hurdle in this and you don't finish, your nation gets 0 points. But if there is a no-show, if there's a DNS, then maximum points drops to 11 instead of 12. Hirvonen of Finland, Raja of Estonia, seeking to continue the good work of Gritsudeko from the opening event. So Zlatnar, Malakauskas, Hirvonen, Raja, Parakonka and Dumitrash. The first 6 to go in the men's 110 metres hurdles. Away first time, solidly from the home athlete from Estonia. Raja, Hirvonen alongside, and now for Belarus is Parakonka and Hirvonen, and Raja will be the 1, 2, 3. Comfortably for the top 3. They were pretty much unchallenged in the end. Raja started very well. Hirvonen began to show his class after that. But how they compare with Heat 2, we'll know in a few minutes. Dimitrash was asking a lot, the 19-year-old, out in lane 7. But Hirvonen, Raya and Parakonka all look quite comfortable in the end. What a very good solid starter was by Hirvonen, right from the gun. But then Parakonka took it on, took the victory. Hirvonen second, Raya third, and the rest fighting for scrap. Zlatnar fourth for Slovenia. Dimitrash might just have taken fifth for Romania. Bigger crowd today in day 2. Parakonka 14.13. Hirvonen pipped down into second place, Raya third, down to Malakauskas for Lithuania in 6th.
Interesting on a line through all of those guys. They're all about 0.2 down on their season's best. Might be an effect of the weather, but 14.13 looks easy on paper for Ben Reynolds to take, but given the day, given the conditions, just might be harder. But I would be hopeful that he will run faster than anybody did in that race. And Ben Reynolds is a seriously good athlete. He's got a personal best of 13.49. He's looking for a European qualifying time. He's got that from last year. He's looking for a European qualifying time of 13.65. His best this year, 13.79 in Loughborough in May. So he's banging on the door there. And as I said, he's already picked for the Commonwealth Games.
Many field events happening simultaneously. The women's hammer, the men's pole vault, and the men's triple jump, which didn't start off with a registered mark for Dennis Finnegan. We now have the 6th to jump, Sindre Almsingen for Norway. It was a shame about Finnegan. A good start, get off the mark. Might have been pushing maybe for the top 6 at the end of the opening round, but now has to make sure he gets a mark in the second round, because if he doesn't, the pressure's massively on for the 3rd. Something conservative in round 2 would do, just to, very important, get on the board. Anybody who gets 3 fouls here, and there is difficulty, by the way, with the wet conditions in Tallinn today. That's happening to quite a few, and it's the second sector. When they're in the air for the second time, they're just not able to get the lift. Met the board well, and then the problems start there. It was just on the second landing. So it's a foul for him as well. At least Finnegan isn't the only one.
Very disconcerting for a jumper when they don't get that early mark in, because the pressure mounts with each jump, and obviously the second one is compromised slightly just to get that mark.
The Olympic silver medalist from Athens 2004, Marian Aprea of Romania. World bronze medalist, Helsinki 2005. He will be to the forefront, even with that one single jump. He and Nelson Ovora are the 2 major medalists in the field, having medalled at 2 Olympic Games between them. A conservative attempt by his standards, and he's in the lead, 16 meters 68. Next for Greece, Dimitrios Tsiamis. Greek athletics has had a little bit of a dip the last 6-7 years. Series of major champions. Resources not quite the same as they were. A few of the Olympic venues across different sports have sadly been laid to waste. It was a solid effort. Really, this round today in the conditions is about getting on the board. You can see the dampness alongside. The jumping lane has been dried off somewhat. 16 meters 20 will put him in the top 3. Heat 2 of the men's 110 metres hurdles, and Ben Reynolds goes in this for Ireland. He's in lane 2. Adrian de Gelt of Belgium is in 3. Konstantinos Douvalidis of Greece in 4. Balázs Basi of Hungary in 5. Vladimir Vakicevic of Norway in 6. And João Almeida of Portugal is in lane 7. Basi, a European under-23 silver medalist in 2011. And Reynolds of North Down, who had World Championship qualification last year. We'll come back to him because we've got an Olympic champion going in the men's triple jump, though he aborted his run-up. He does have time, Nelson Novora, former world champion and Olympic champion too, and who has been medalling at championships since the European Juniors in 2003, when he did the long and triple jump double. Last major international medal was the silver at the World Championships in Berlin in 2009. We made reference yesterday to the greatest mascot of all time, Berlino. He was the mascot for those games. He turned up in Braunschweig yesterday in the Super League of the European Team Championships. What a comeback. Now can Novora come back with the major result here? Oh, that's a massive leap! And if he got the board right, that puts him surely in front. He really went for it there. And he didn't use the board at all. He gave 25 centimetres away. Whoa, 15.91. Won't be happy with it. Not as long as it looked. So back to the hurdles. Reynolds in 2, de Gelt in 3, Douvalidis 4, Basi 5, Vakicevic 6, Almeida in 7. Full start. Now that recall gun was very quick, so I would imagine there shouldn't be a red card there. Reynolds cleared most hurdles, but it was a very, very quick recall.
Yeah, I missed it. I hope nobody gets disqualified as a result of that. They're looking at lane 3, are they?
Well, if it's lane 3, it would be Adrian de Gelt. But it was very quick on the reset, so it is a green card.
That's good.
I think if it was a proper full start, the recall gun would have come around the first hurdle.
You can see there once again in the background, absolutely no wind here. Wind is not a factor, it's just a greasy, slippy, wet track.
Well, Reynolds has a good chance here. 14.13 was the winning time in the first heat from Vitaly Parakonka of Belarus. Reynolds in 2, de Gelt in 3, Douvalidis 4, Basi 5, Vakicevic 6, João Almeida of Portugal in lane 7. Oh, false start, and that was Adrian de Gelt. That should be a red card, and Belgium will get nothing out of this.
Now the 100 throw second finalist is Merje Korbela.
He certainly has the look of a condemned man there, Will.
Belgium in 10th place of the 12. The last position of safety, 19 points clear of relegation, but I think they'll get nothing out of this. It depends how generous the officials are, considering the conditions today, but that looked a clear full start by de Gelt in 3. It's an open and shut case. You can see his concern. He knows what happened. He knows it was him. We all do. Belgium may go all the way in Brazil, but not here. De Gelt has gone.
And you know, on the one hand, the other athletes will be saying, that's great, there's another guy gone from the equation, but on the other hand, it only increases the tension on the start line. He knew straight away, though. He held his hands up.
Well, De Gelt has been disqualified. Belgium will get 0 points, and Ben Reynolds now has a spare lane either side of him. That's not necessarily a good thing. Reynolds in 2, Duvalidis in 4, Baji in 5, Vukicevic 6, João Almeida in 7. 14.13 was the winning time in Heat 1. Third time lucky. Reynolds didn't have the best start. Baji's going well. Reynolds has to fight back strongly. Duvalidis going well for Greece. It's the Hungarian Baji at the moment. Reynolds in around third. It's between Baji and Duvalidis. And Baji took it. Duvalidis second. Ben Reynolds was in third place for Ireland. And if he gets lower than 14.13, it'll be 10 points for Ireland.
I suspect he'll get very close to that. It's going to be very, very tight on those times. Ben got away poorly, but he was very strong for the entire body of the race after the first hurdle. Good run by Ben.
Well, very good performance from Balázs Baji. He's a very good underage hurdler at European level. There's Pip Duvalidis for the victory, but Reynolds recovered very well. Difficult for him. He was isolated in Ireland out in lane 2. It was in 4 and 5 that the better start came, and Almeida and Vukicevic were out of it by there. Reynolds obviously could see the rest ahead, had a little glance across just after he got past the line, and he pipped Almeida certainly for third. Well, 13.51 the winning time, and Reynolds, that should put him in third overall.
Oh, it should do, yeah. He's very close to that. Reynolds will be about 13.8 probably.
I think we can mark 10 points down for Ireland, but wait for it to be confirmed.
Hurdles have done Ireland proud this weekend.
13.82. Ben Reynolds scores 10 points for Ireland. Duvalidis second for Greece. Balázs Baji gets the victory for Hungary.
Oh, so that's excellent. 12 points in the 400 hurdles men, 10 points in the 110 hurdles men, 9 points in the 100 meter hurdles women. That's a fantastic contribution from team hurdles.
Well, it's very positive start to the day. 19 points out of a maximum 24 for Ireland. Belgium were below them. Really doesn't make a major impact on Ireland just yet. Had Belgium been above, then Ireland certainly would have climbed a place at the very least. The updates on the team classification not as constant as they were in Santry last year. We're back to the men's triple jump for the time being, and this will be Kletsinski of Belarus. Dennis Finnegan has had his second leap. That's a good solid jump by Pletnitsky. It's around 15.5 meters. But Nelson Avora, by the way, we saw in the first round, it was a good jump. He just didn't use the board at all. He had around 15.90, and surely would have been around 16.20 or more had he used the board, and that would have been second place behind Apreya. Pletnitsky is third, 16.16, improves by 24 centimeters. So the men's hammer, this is a result. Women's hammer, Bianca Peri of Romania takes it. Elena Krecic of Belarus in second. And Mirja Korpela of Finland in third. Bumko fourth for Belgium, that means 9 points. Kati Ojalo of Estonia, the home nation, was in 8th. And Aoife Hickey picks up 3 points for Ireland, 55.97, her best of the day.
Still to come on the track shortly now, the 800 metres, figuring Mark English. I'm sure Mark had looked at those 3 victories yesterday and said to himself, I want a slice of that action. So he's up against quite a tough field, but he is the class of the field, so there'll be high hopes for him. He's on within the next 5 to 10 minutes.
So these the best throws of the hammer competition. Not a fun day if you're over in the stand on the far side. Not quite sure it's a day for that. So we've had 3 Irish results in across the day, and it's looking like a mirror of yesterday. Really strong results on the track, and in the field not so much. Marius Vidaikis of Lithuania currently lying in 6th place, 15 meters 12 in the opening round. Is there an improvement coming here? Probably not. When it comes to competitions like this, it's across the board. Obviously, they will be doing their best to strengthen the field events one by one as best they can. Dempsey McGuigan is a nice prospect, still very, very young. Tori Pena got another very good result yesterday. She did last year in Santi, where she finished 2nd, joint 4th yesterday. No improvement for the Lithuanian, a centimetre shorter than last time out. Sindre Almsengen of Norway had a foul in the first round.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, the field events talent is there in Ireland. We see it at the Irish Schools Championships every year. The follow-through of athletes actually sticking with the sport is probably the biggest problem in terms of developing that end of things. But I'm sure young athletes looking in there today now, and they see the opportunity and how good this event is, and athletes who everybody can be an athlete and everybody can be as good as they want to be, and there is an event in athletics for everybody, and there are loads of good throwers, loads of good jumpers out there in Ireland who, if they dedicate themselves to the sport, can be part of Irish teams in the future and can be part of the development of this. Traditionally, we're a running nation, as on the Eastern European side. In traditionally, a lot of them are throwing nations, jumping nations. They're more excited about that. You only had to look at the television coverage yesterday to see how Belarus reacted to their throwers. So it's horses for courses in a lot of senses. But there's no doubt to me. I mean, I think of somebody like Cian Healy, the superstar of the Irish rugby team now. Cian Healy was an Irish champion, schools champion discus thrower and shot putter. A great prospect. He chose to go to rugby. There's loads of those prospects. If he hadn't chosen rugby, he could be here today putting the shot. We remember Nicky Sweeney in the past, Victor Costello, all those type of people.
A foul for a prayer in the 2nd round, but he still leads the men's triple jump. Next on the track, the men's 800 metres, and for Ireland, that means Mark English will be back next on Irish TV. In the triple jump, Nelson Navora in the 2nd round for Portugal. 15 meters 91. He's in 4th place, but he should be higher. Didn't judge the takeoff right. The noughties very much his decade, and again he didn't use the board, and he knows he's not getting the technique right. It should be between him and Marian Aprea for the victory, and he has got his first 2 attempts wrong, and he only has 1 more regular attempt to go. And if he doesn't stay in 4th place, he doesn't get a 4th round attempt.
He certainly doesn't look a happy camper there today. The conditions are getting to him, and he's allowed them to get to him. He's not happy at all. He would be one of Portugal's bankers today, and he's feeling the pressure.
Not the day he was anticipating. Back to the track, the men's 800 metres, and in this for Ireland is Mark English. Second in the New York Golden League meeting, behind the world record holder and Olympic champion David Rudisha. He is the class of the field, and he should be a contender at the very least, and that's understating it.
He is the class of the field, but let's not underestimate the field. There are 5 or 6 men who've run about 146. Mark has run high 144s. He ran 145.03 in New York last week. He's in superb form. He is the favourite, but it's not going to be easy. And this being a European team championship, it's not going to be your Diamond League type race. It's going to be tactical, but he's up to it. He's got the speed, he's got the strength, he's got all the ammunition, and the rest of the field are well aware of who he is and what his form is like. So let's just go out and see how he executes it, because this is a very important part of his development. It's a very important part of how he prepares for the European Championships later this year.
Yeah, we've got a lot of 145s and 146s here. Mark English is a 145. There's no other 145 in the field, but the rest are very good indeed. So we're underway in the men's 800 metres. Mark English for Ireland, Rudolf of Slovenia, Sloma of Belarus, Van der Broek for Belgium, Kozlov Lithuania, Roth of Norway, Zizan for Romania, Ryman Vala for Estonia, Nakalopoulos for Greece, Moreira Portugal, Salonen Finland, and Kazi for Hungary. And he's got himself nicely at the front and the inside. Moving forward for Portugal is Miguel Moreira here. They've got up to a very good strike, and the little shove from the Slovene. He's pushed the front two. Hassan Rudolf, English comfortably in 4th place and staying on the outside, staying out of trouble for now.
Have a look at the physicality of this race. 12 men in it, it's a lot in a short race. Elbows flying, you really have to be able to protect yourself here. Mark is in a good position, he's in the controlling position there now, so he just wants to watch that he doesn't get jumped on the outside. But he has the ammunition, he has the speed. I feel he's controlling the race.
At the bell, English is on the shoulder of Miguel Moreira of Portugal. The big, bulky Hungarian Tamás Kazi is up there too in 3rd place. English extricating himself away from them at the moment. Now making a move on the outside. Zizan trying to make his 2nd move of the race. English has moved up towards the front alongside the Portuguese Moreira, trying to open up a gap with 200 metres to go. And now English goes for it. Mark English hits the front for Ireland in the final 200. The Hungarian moving up just beside Kazi. He's quite a big figure for an 800 metre runner, and he's moved his way up into 2nd place behind Mark English. Looks to have made the move, got himself out of trouble at the right time. It looks like maximum points for the 4th time for Ireland this weekend. Trying to make a move is the Romanian Zizan, and the Hungarian is too far back, Kazi. It will be a 4th Irish win of the weekend. Mark English takes the men's 800 metres for Ireland. It's maximum points, and he did everything absolutely right.
That is as controlled and as comfortable a victory you will ever see an Irish athlete execute. Look at him, it didn't take a breath out of him. It just a masterclass in how to race. He was in total control, total confidence. He looks the part today, and what a boost that will be to his confidence. He was absolutely superb there. He hardly broke sweat. Tactically aware, physically able for the job, and delivering 12 points to the Irish cause. Brilliant run, Mark English.
Another superb performance, and it is a 4th Irish win of the weekend after Brian Gregan, Paul Robinson and Thomas Barr, and that's every category from 400 to 1500 flat and hurdles that Ireland have won. Physical at the start, the Slovene with a few shows, but English made sure he wasn't involved in that, and the best way of making sure you're not involved in it is being well out in the front. Well done, sir.
Oh, look at that, he's just going away without even putting his foot on the accelerator. That is a superb performance. Brilliant run by Mark English, and what a contribution to the team. 4 victories this weekend. That's a performance that we can be very, very proud of. Hopefully more to come today.
12 top 5 finishes.
Winning time 147.60. That's the easiest 147 you will see.
Well, he did marvellously well, as a result of that excitement. At the same time, Dennis Finnegan was going in the triple jump. Unlike last year in Santry, there's no live results feed for the commentators. I think we realise now how fantastically organised Santry was last year. Well, we are delighted to be with you live for the entire weekend on Irish TV. Platinsky for Belarus. He's in third place, but that was a foul, but he will get a fourth round. Nelson Navora may not necessarily, though.
We've now won the 400 metres, the 800 metres and the 1500 metres flat. We've won the 400 hurdles, and we've that is a fantastic sweep of victories. It's also a fantastic judgment and response to the support that these young athletes are getting from the Irish Sports Council through the funding system and everything, and it's justification of what AAI is trying to do, is trying to support these young athletes who have potential going forward. All of the athletes who've produced a victory today, they're all going to be significant players, not only in Zurich this year but in the years to come. And it's very, very exciting for Irish athletics to just watch this unfold.
Well, we're back to the triple jump for the time being, and Solomon Comey for Belgium, who's not going to improve his position with that effort. 11th place for him, which will mean 2 points for now. Well, thanks for all your comments. I've got 3 full pages of them in front of me, and there is no way we're going to be able to read them all, but I've had a glance at them all, and thank you for all of you who are watching, some in more unusual places than others. Linda Lavin from Canada. I wonder who you've been watching out for. And Aidan O'Toole, John May, Declan Joyce in Foxford, Paul McKeown in Dublin, Liam Doran, Kevin Gallagher in Manchester, and Mary Gallagher in Crossmolina, Oliver Killeen, Rosemary Neathorn, Patrice Burns, Neve Creamer, hello to you, Athletics Wexford as well. Connor Brennan is in Alaska. I presume you're watching online. We've also had Kevin Burke asking, is this the Dick Cooper that won loads of marathons? Yes, it is.
I'm afraid so. That's what happens to marathon runners when they get old.
Mary Glenn's in Philadelphia, and Bernadette Cohen's in Bevington, and I've been given at least 30 other names. We appreciate you watching. There's no chance we can mention you today. It is really busy. And Derek Gavin's watching on the golf course. Are you watching at the Irish Open?
I can't help thinking back to a day in Moscow last August when both Mark English and Paul Robinson went out in the 800 metre heats and were devastated afterwards, and there was no talking to them, as is the norm when people don't perform to their expectations in major championships. And just to see what they've learned from then and how they've developed it, and to see the execution in both those athletes' performances this weekend is true justification for sending them to the major championships, first of all to learn, and then haven't they learned so well, and they are developing along the lines that good athletes do develop. They learn and they go away then and they execute.
Well, I know there was a debate surrounding Mark English after he did so well, finishing 5th in the World Juniors in Barcelona in 2012. He didn't go to the Olympic Games in London, but the 4 who finished ahead of him did, and Nigel Amos, African, who won the World Junior title 4 weeks before the Olympics, was sent to the Olympics, finished 2nd.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about it. That was a mistake not sending him, and it was a pity that he wasn't sent, but we are where we are. It's over now, it's history, and Mark has got on with life, and he'll appreciate it more when he does make the Olympics in Rio, and hopefully he will be on the big stage there. These things happen in sport. Everybody gets a disappointment. You build on your disappointment to create greater victories down the road, and that's what Mark is involved in doing. He has a carriage about him. He has a sense of destiny, I think, that is going the entire distance.
Well, coming up shortly, the women's 1500 metres. That features the Diamond League athlete Laura Crow, and that's coming up next here, live from Tallinn on Irish TV. And we are back in Tallinn for day 2 of the European Athletics Team Championships First League from the Cadriog Stadium. Been a great first 3 track races of the day for Ireland. A win, a third and a fourth. And that means 31 points out of a maximum 36. And I will reiterate, Ireland far and away have the best track record of all the 12 nations here. If it were a track event only, Ireland would be on the way to promotion. And I'll say one other thing as well. If the European Team Championships were track only, and again, if, pointless, but if, Ireland possibly might be perennially, regularly in the Super League. There has to be a better record than some of the nations who are in the top flight when it comes to the track.
I would imagine so, but you know, that's conjecture really. What we really have to do is just develop our field events, get them to a higher standard so that they can contribute. Now in the past they have contributed, whereas the track has contributed less, so all changes. But let's see how Laura does now on the 1500 metres. She's got a real chance of a top 3, top 4.
So we're underway in the women's 1500 metres. It's Karin Storbacka of Finland, Laura Crow of Ireland, Marusha Mishmach of Slovenia, her second race of the weekend, Katerina Shaban of Belarus, Sophie van Akkum of Belgium, Vaida Shuzanaite of Lithuania, Ingvild Makestad-Bovim of Norway, Joanna Duaga of Romania, Anastasia Paniota Marinaku of Greece, Linnea Stenov of Estonia, Sara Ribeiro of Portugal, and Krista Kostas of Hungary. And she's in a good position straight away, Laura Crow. Competed in the Diamond League meeting, the Bislett Games in Oslo a couple of weeks ago, and she's in second place behind the former European junior bronze medalist from 2011, Joanna Duaga of Romania.
Laura has developed into a fine athlete. She got this gig last year in the 3000 metres, which was slightly outside her remit, but she ran a very fine race. She was 4th or 5th in that race and was competitive right up to the end. She's addressed the start here very well. She's got into second place. She's ranked about 4th going into the race, so she has a chance there. There's a very fast Norwegian girl, Bo Vim, who's run 4:02, which is, if she runs to form, is going to be difficult to live with. Next up would be a 4:08 girl, so Laura with her 4:11, she's right in there. She'd also be chasing in the back of her mind the European qualifying time of the A time of 4:08:30 herself. She has the B time, which is 4:12. She'll likely get sent on that B time at the moment because she is the fastest 1500 metre runner, but she does run the risk of course of another Irish girl running faster than that this year, so she'd like to get that 4:08 herself and get herself on that plane. She's really developed as a fine athlete over the last few years. She's coached by Donny Walsh now in Cork. Her partner is Mark Hanrahan, and the two of them have dedicated themselves to athletics over the last couple of years, so they're living hand to mouth trying to chase their dream. They were in Australia during the winter, and that's where Laura ran her 4:11 out in Melbourne.
2 laps to go, being led by Joanna Duaga of Romania, 5th in the World Juniors in Barcelona in 2012, and the European Junior Bronze Medalist 2011. Also in this, Mishmash, 2nd in the 3000 metre steeplechase yesterday, behind Eriksson of Finland, who for the 2nd year in a row won it in the final straight. 3rd at the moment, Ingvild Makestad-Bovim of Norway, and Cernov also set the Estonian record this year of 4:12.73. Actually set it last week and broke a 33-year-old record, which went back to the Soviet days. Sara Ribeiro is tucked in strongly. She's a 10,000 metres runner normally, 32.56 runner at that distance. Major drop down to the 1500 metres here. And I can tell you, by the way, after the opening track event, the 100 hurdles, where Sarah Lavin finished in 4th place, Ireland had moved up to 7th. Ireland have got 2 great strong victories since then in terms of podium positions. Ireland are moving up, and they're moving up here with Sarah Lavin, and the bell is on the way, and she's in 2nd place.
Yeah, this is a good honest race. Laura has stuck on the shoulder of the leader the whole time. They're coming to the bell, and Laura has a good 800 metre under her belt. She has a good finish, so she's right there. It all will come down to strength here, because the kickers are lining up there behind her. Can she hold them off? she probably would be as well off to go with about 300 metres to go and draw them out and see what she can get out of it. She's running very well.
Well, Laura Crow is up on the shoulder now of Jona Duaga, and movement coming from Makestad Bovim of Norway, and she's really put the foot down, having held third position comfortably. Now she's stretching herself. Laura Crow is moving up into second place for Ireland. They're trying to leave the rest behind. Here comes Sernoff of Estonia in third place, and that's got the crowd going here, and she's trying to reel Laura Crow in second place. It should be a Norwegian victory for Makestad Bovim. She's well out in front. Can Laura Crow defend second place? It's Lena Sernoff of Estonia right behind. It'll be a Norwegian victory. Ingvild Makestad Bovim wins. Laura Crow's trying to hang on to second place ahead of Sernoff here, and Laura Crow finishes second. It's another great Irish performance. This is marvellous.
Oh, I tell you what, Laura Crow really ran brilliantly there today. The class of the field ended up winning it, no doubt about that. Bovim with her 4:02 personal best. She was hardly going to get beaten here, but Laura did everything else that could be asked of her. She ran a superb race, was always up there, always mixing it, always believing in herself, and boy did she hold off the opposition with such strength in the final straight. We queried, had she enough strength? We know she has enough speed, we know she has enough commitment, but now she's developing that strength. She didn't get the European qualifying time today of the A time, but it's there, it's in her, and that run today is going to bring her on hugely. When she looks around, checks the credentials of the girls that she's beaten, many of whom have run faster than she's ever run, and yet today she was as good as any of them. She was fantastic. Well done, Laura Crow.
Well, victory for Mark English, a second place for Laura Crow, a third place for Ben Reynolds, a fourth place for Sarah Lavin. There have been 4 team events so far today, a maximum of 48 points, and Ireland have won 42. That's exceptional. By far and away at this stage, overall the best track performance by a mile has been from Ireland. More points than anyone else, and they are back in with a chance of promotion.
And all this athletes been up first and second, it's contagious, and that's what's probably rubbed off on Laura Crow today. She's seen her teammates compete on the track. There's now a belief right across the team that we can be up there in every track event, and they're all looking to contribute. They don't want to be embarrassed by coming off with a below par performance. They're all committed to the cause. This is a fantastic performance by Ireland. I can't wait to see the points total shortly, because surely we've gone up in the table.
Well, at least one place after one event. But we've had 3 more on the track since then. It's been spectacular so far in day 2 from an Irish perspective. Overall, so far, there have been 4 wins, 1 second place, 2 third places, 3 fourths and 3 fifths. That's competitive. That is brilliant.
And in the pecking order, the male versus female war, Laura's performance in second today is the best of the Irish women so far. So that's putting it up to Fionnuala Britton, who comes later, and the other Irish girls. Maybe even the 4x4 relay team. It'd be lovely if the girls produced a victory from somewhere, but we'll take them all because everybody is on the team together. Everybody's contributing to this.
An important point as well is that there has been another top 5 Irish performance from Tori Pena, but it's the only one in the field, and we will not have Demetrius Themis cracking the top 2. He will finish in 3rd place in the men's triple jump. Plitnitsky 4th for Belarus. Oh dear me, now that he could have done himself a major disservice there. Almost went over at his ankle going into the second phase. 2 fouls, and his first round jump was his best, 16 meters 20.
I reiterate, these conditions, they're so slippy and greasy. That track is exceptionally slippy.
Marian Aprea with his first round jump has just about won it, 16.68. Foul in the second, passed on the third. He's dressed properly for the conditions. It doesn't matter about this. He's taken the honours for Romania marvellously. And he pulled out immediately. There's no point with the European Championships coming up in Zurich and other major diamond meetings between now and then to do himself an injury at this time of the year. One jump, one win. Thank you very much. So Aprea wins the men's triple jump. Plitnitsky was second in the end for Belarus. Tsames third for Greece. And Nelson Avora did improve with his fourth and final attempt. 16 metres 07, but no better than fourth for him. Dennis Finnegan in 11th place picks up 2 points for Ireland.
Next event on the track is the steeplechase in 10 minutes time. Tomas Cotter goes for Ireland. Tomas ran in the event in Santry last year, ran very well, finished 5th. He's since improved his personal best over in America, 8:44 he now stands at. It is a very competitive field, but let's see if Tomas can repeat his performance of last year. That looks about, because there's a lot of good talent in that race. There's a lot of men faster than him, so let's see if he can mix it and avail of the opportunity. The other thing is, with the track being greasy and slippy, just might be a factor in the steeple. From
DMP in Wexford, Marco Pons goes for Ireland in the men's discus, 20-year-old, a field which also includes the Olympic champion from 2008 in Beijing, Gerd Kanter of Estonia, the 2007 world champion. We will see a lot of the discus, I can guarantee you that. Does mean good chance of seeing a lot of Marco Pons as well, though. Michael O'Brien is his coach. And straight into international competition for Ireland, and he's alongside in the field an Olympic champion and a man who, by the way, is still medaling at major championships, because Kanter won the bronze in Moscow at the World Championships last year. Jani Walden of Finland to go now, which means Pons will throw next. At least it will if they keep to the schedule that we have. And that will be a no mark for Jani Walden. It's an event that Gerd Kanter should win. Andrei Geiger, Romania, is also a decent competitor in this.
Marco Pons, who throws for us, is a young man. He's only 20, going on 21 this year. He has a personal best of 50 metres and 6:06, which he did at the University Championships, the Irish University Championships in Waterford earlier this year. So he'll be looking to improve on that mark this afternoon.
Well, he's looking to get it out around 50 metres. Might just be a bit shy of it. The body language suggests so. So Ireland into 7th place, still 20 points off promotion. 7th was where they finished last year, which was a new record for Ireland. They're 1 point away from Portugal. So that would count the 2 hurdles, which would include Ben Reynolds, but would not include Mark English, and would not include Laura Crowe, but it would include the women's hammer.
Even without calculating them in, we are on the move upwards on that table. There is no doubt about that. So we're 7th now.
I would actually probably say Ireland are now up into 6th place. If we factor in the win in the 800 metres, the 2nd place in the 1500, Portugal were not ahead of us in either, mainly because Ireland won 1, and was 2nd behind Norway in the other. Well, Norway going very strong in terms of promotion. We'll keep you up to date throughout the afternoon how Ireland are doing. I would still feel a promotion fight. There's been a lot of points gained for Ireland, 42 out of a maximum 48 on the track, and that will make up for what will be happening in the field.
I suppose another significant figure to keep an eye on is that when we finished 7th last year, we had a total of 242 points. So that last table told us we were at 155 at this point in the day. So we're well on mark to beat that 242.
And that 7th place last year, Ireland were well adrift. Great chance of promotion in day 1, which frittered away as day 2 went on, and Ireland in the end finished up 57 points away from the promotion places. Right now, Ireland are only 20 points down. Next on the track, it will be the men's 3,000 metre steeplechase. That will mean Thomas Cotter, and that's coming up next, live on Irish TV. Hello again from the European Athletics Team Championships First League, live from Tallinn on Irish TV. And some blistering performances on the track from Ireland so far today to continue what we saw yesterday. Victory for Mark English in the men's 800 metres, a 2nd place for Laura Crowe in the 1500, 3rd for Ben Reynolds in the 110 hurdles, and 4th for Sarah Levin in the women's 100 hurdles. Means Ireland are going up the rankings, 6th place I would estimate, certainly. Less than 20 points away from promotion, which is doable. A few solid finishes in the field events would be a massive help. Things are going magnificently in the track.
We have 2 events coming up that we would expect big points out of: the 5,000 metres with Fionnuala Britton and the 3,000 metres with David McCarthy. I would imagine top 3 placings there, just counting our chickens before they're hatched. I'd expect big points from the 2 of them. And Tomas Cotter is an interesting one. He could be... anything could happen with Tomas, but he did perform very well last year in this event, so that'll be high in his memory. So I know he's in good shape, so it'd be interesting to see whether the Dunleer man can produce it today. And he's up now shortly.
Here we have the men's discus at the moment, and Joni Walden is throwing for Finland. That was just on the edge of the sector, so it's been waved a foul. That was the Greek Tremos, which means the Olympic champion will be up shortly, needing to get a firmer base in this competition. But remember, every country in this competition sends a representative. You'll send your best, but they may be well down in terms of the average of the field. Now the 1,500 metres we have seen, and Laura Crowe did magnificently in finishing in 2nd place in that. So the next event on the track is the men's 3,000 metres steeplechase, and going in this for Ireland from Dunleer AC is Tomas Cotter, a 23-year-old who has been based at Wichita State University. He's trained by David Carey. And also in this is the World University Games champion, the Universiade champion from 2011, Alberto Paulo from Portugal, and the European Under-23 bronze medalist from 2011, Alexandru Ganea of Romania. Gerd Kanter, the Olympic champion from 2008, going for Estonia in the discus, real national hero, and that's short of 55. Well, he got the white flag, but that's not up to his standard, and he walked out of the sector and he's in 2nd place, 59.27. His best so far.
Okay, here's the 12 runners now in the steeplechase, and you can see Tomas Cotter there at the back in the green there, readying themselves. 35 jumps, 28 hurdles and 7 water jumps to surmount during this 3,000 metres. This is arguably the toughest race on the track. They'd all be strong men with reasonable 1,500 metre speed and good cross-country strength. It's a real grueler of an event, the steeplechase. It's dominated completely worldwide now by the Africans. The Kenyans have brought it to a new level. Years ago, nobody would ever dare hurdle the water jump. Now we see them clearing the hurdle jump with such aplomb. It's astonishing. Back in the 70s or early 80s, well, back in the 70s, I remember the world record was 8:22, held by an Australian, Kerry O'Brien, and it seemed to be around that mark for years and years, and then all of a sudden Anders Garderud and Bronislaw Malinowski brought it down around 8:10, 8:05, and then Henry Rono, who wasn't really a steeplechaser, brought it to a new level, and then the Kenyans took over.
So underway in the men's 3,000 metres steeplechase. It's Kvistik of Estonia, Alberto Paolo of Portugal, Dani of Hungary, Okun Manaho of Finland, Tomas Kotter of Iceland, Blaž Grad of Slovenia, Sarashakanka of Belarus, Dupont of Belgium, Berzanskis of Lithuania, Karbo of Norway, Ganea of Romania, and Ilias Kassos of Greece. 7.5 laps, and those big barriers as well.
Okay, this is very tactical from the word go. You can see that they're virtually jogging up the straight here. This is where you have to be careful, because terrible bunching takes place when they start to ready themselves to go over the hurdles, and a lot of mistakes can be made, and all the athletes would be conscious of the track being wet and the track being greasy. They don't want to slip. If you hit one of those barriers, you fairly feel it. So Tomas now just needs to mind himself there. He's a good hurdler anyway. See him covering that with no problem at all. He's a big strong man, as most steeplechasers tend to be, European steeplechasers in particular. He's running well, but it's slow, so there's nothing really happening yet.
Well, in terms of carnage around the barriers, Ostrava was hard to beat last year. That great meeting in the Czech Republic, where we had one spectacular fall in the men's steeplechase at the water jump, which is coming up now for the first time. And in the women's, it was like a pile-up at Beecher's Brook. Sadly, Ostrava this year, due to the scheduling, I think pretty much overshadowed by the World Cup, as it clashed with the 5 p.m. fixture Irish time last week. But this is confident. Good solid start from Tomas Kotter very early on. He's just ahead of Kar Kvistik of Estonia and Jana Okun Manaho of Finland. But it's been taken at a very easy pace so far. So let's take a quick look at Marco Pons of Ireland, who goes in the men's discus. Well, that's not bad. Should be just beyond 50 metres. But how solid position does it put him in?
But it actually looks like it could be close to his best of 50.06. It looks like it's out of around the 50-metre mark. So if it is, that's as much as can be asked of him today.
Pons around a 50-metre thrower. It could give him a good position. 47.77, he's in 8th place. That would be equal to 5 points, and actually right now that wouldn't be bad.
I think actually we'd settle for that if we could take it, but hopefully he can add a few metres to that.
I'm not sure he would settle for it though. Ribaro, Slovenia in 7th place. This is one of the European homes of the discus, so we will be seeing a lot of it. But we should be in a position today where we haven't seen the end of the steeplechase, certainly not from our point of view, where Tomas Kotter was leading, though it was a very easy pace. That is shorter. It's not 50 metres for the Slovene, who his nation won promotion last season, up from the 2nd league, the 3rd flight, into this division. Slovenia were in the relegation zone with Hungary going into today, and they were quite a bit adrift. They were 18 points adrift of Belgium, so that doesn't improve. 47.43, and he remains in 7th place. For Belarus now, Pavel Lizhin, who threw 55 metres in the opening round. Well, Kotter, by the way, I can tell you in the steeplechase is tucked in the inside in 4th place, but they're all oddly bunched together at the moment. That throw, by the way, going out to around 53 metres. Kotter in 5th place. So far so good in the steeplechase for Ireland.
Yeah, he looks like he's 5th. It looks like there's a group of 7 beginning to pull away, so we're 4 minutes 50 into the race, so we're gone 4 laps at this stage. So we're into the second half of the race, so Come on, Thomas, and give us what you can. Maybe top 3, top 4 would be wonderful.
And it's 6th place at the moment for Lizen. He is 1 ahead of Marco Pons. Now for Belgium, it's Filip Milanov, who fouled in the opening round. There are some nations, I will point out, where the field is more important than the track, and if you were watching the Olympic Games, they would be taking the dedicated feed for the field events rather than just seeing what was happening on the tartan. And that's around 50 metres. Beginning to spread out a little bit in the steeplechase, though not too uncomfortably so far. Actually, it was a very good throw. Looked to have gone around 60 metres. If the markings are right, that's 61 dead, and Milanov goes into 2nd place for Belgium. That was a very, very good throw indeed. Marco Pons doing his best to keep himself warm in the cold and the rain of Tallinn today. Now, Tomas Kotter is in a good solid position around 5th place.
Okay, we're coming up to 2 laps to go. Big group together. The race is, you can sense that the race is beginning to take off now. So Tomas, he just got to stay there. He looks full of running. He looks like he believes in himself. So probably there in top 6 there. The group at the back look as if they're just about hanging on. It looks like 3 or 4 guys are ready to drop off if there's any serious injection of pace here. But Tomas is well able to look after himself there. He's a big, strong fella.
Well, Kinea leading for Romania, but now joined by the Estonian. Kark Vistik hits the front for Estonia, the home nation, and Kotter on the outside in 4th place, and the Finn is moving up also. Ukon Manaho over the hurdle, he's in front. Kivistik 2nd for Estonia, but Kotter still in a good position in 4th place for Ireland, just behind in 3rd for Norway, Tom Erling Carbo with 600 to go, and that the water jump for the penultimate time.
Yeah, very happy with the way Tomas took the water jump there. There is a little group pulling away there, so he's got to concentrate here now. We're into the last lap. We'll get the bell up here shortly. He can't relax here because there's a load of vultures there ready to take him. He's got to look at who's ahead of him and work on getting back up there. He's in 5th position at the bell. He's in danger from the 2 behind, so he's got to look at the guys in front and chase them down.
300 metres to go. Ukon Manaho leads for Finland. Kivistik in 2nd place for Estonia. 3rd for Norway is Carbo. Now up into 4th for Lithuania is Berzanskis, with Tomas Kotter of Dunleer in 5th place for Ireland. It's a Finland, Estonia, Norway battle at the moment, and the Lithuanian Berzanskis has moved up, and right now is between these 4. And look at Berzanskis go, really fleet of foot with 150, 200 to go. Here's the water jump for the last time. Kotter battling for 5th at the moment, and the first 4 are all over it, and the Norwegian landed brilliantly, Carbo, and Kotter is moving up into 5th, and Kotter might get up into the top 4. Lithuania leading. Berzanskis, he's over the last, he has to look around. Here comes Ukon Manaho for Finland. Ukon Manaho's trying to take this up, but it's going to be in the end victory for Berzanskis for Lithuania, and Kotter's 4th for me on the line, just ahead of Kvistik for Estonia. That will go to the photo replay, no doubt about that, but it will be no worse than 5th for Tomas Kotter, and maybe 4th. I think he just got the Estonian Kivistik on the line, but what a race that was, and what a lead up for the final 200 metres.
I agree with you, Will. I think Tomas did get 4th, and he was very, very good and very strong and very competitive in the straight. It's a fine run. It was 1 in 8:48. Tomas probably did about 8:50, which, going off the slow pace early on, was a tremendous run by him. He really competed well there. We got a couple of points more than we really were expecting, so he obviously is the effect of the winning and all the good vibes that are going off the Mark Englishes and the Paul Robinsons and the Tomas Bars of this world is lifting the others, and it's lifting Tomas Kotter. Look at the way he comes down at the straight. He looks at the blue vest there in front of him wilting, and he knows if he keeps going he can get it, and that's exactly what he did. He put his foot on the accelerator instead of taking it off, and he got him on the line.
He did, no doubt about that in the replay. Lithuania, Finland, Norway, and then Ireland in fourth. And he dipped on the line brilliantly, and at one stage he was about 10 metres back with half a lapper there to go. Marvellous resolve by Cotter, and he finished fourth. That's 9 points for Ireland. It's another very good positive result. Ireland at the moment are on course, possibly, though not probably, for their best ever finish at a European Team Championship. And without being a scratched record, if you're under the age of 30, ask your dad what one of those is. A few better field results, and Ireland would be up battling all the way for promotion. Maybe we can get one in the discus with Marco Pons. Chemos has improved to 54.78, and this is the man who nobody could beat 2 years in a row in Osaka and Beijing. Gerd Kanter, currently in third place, was overtaken with the last throw from a very impressive up-and-coming Belgian, the 22-year-old Philip Milanov. Do they potentially become contenders in this in the future? Milanov up into second, and Gerd Kanter down into third. Bit more like it. That's around 62 metres from the former world and Olympic champion. And I will remind you, still medaling at the highest level. Kept his balance well. He's a big man, he'd have come down very heavily otherwise.
Tomas Cotter's performance there was very encouraging, fourth place. We haven't had a really good steeplechaser since the days of Liam O'Brien and Brendan Quinn, and it's a void that it's been obvious that it needs to be filled. And Tomas has worked very hard he's recognised that there is that gap there, and he's working hard towards getting it. But realistically, our steeplechasers, they've got to get down 8:30 and below. For example, the qualifying time for the Europeans this year is 8:32. That's obviously what they should be going towards. And there would be a lot of Irish middle distance runners out there who, if they really gave that event a try, I suspect would have it in them to run those kind of times. 8:30, you want to have the equivalent of about an 8-minute 3,000 metres on the flat, and there are several Irish athletes have that. And the steeplechase then, if you can get over the hurdles, if you can hurdle reasonably well, it is an event that I think more people should specialise in, and because it is an opportunity there is an event there that is up for grabs in terms of domination.
We're back with Marco Pons in the discus, although that was not one of his better efforts. I think that's down in the high 40s, but not beyond the 50 that he would have wished. Well, he gave it a whirl. Was in 7th place. I would feel he's probably gone down to 8th at this stage. Was looking to end on a high, maybe climb up a place or two. 8th, fine though. 5 points would be a big help. And we have Kelly Proper coming in the long jump also, and potential of a top 4. Well, Marco's down to 11th place, didn't get beyond 47.5. That'll be 2 points for Ireland. Obviously, those around him who he was ahead of have managed to overtake. Next events on the track are the women's 200 metres. Kelly Proper, busy day for her as she goes in the second heat of this and in the long jump. Now 27 events in. Ireland are in 6th place, 15 points behind Norway. Romania, Greece, Belarus, Finland, Norway, Ireland, the top 6. Forget about relegation, that won't happen. Belgium in trouble for the 2nd consecutive year, but Ireland are in a strong position.
And we are getting near a 3rd place, albeit slower, and it obviously looks like it may be too difficult to get there, but we're 17 points now off 3rd place. So the graph is going the right direction. It really is a tremendous performance by the Irish. So anything more that we can get to build, if we can get a few more points, and there are some strong ones coming, we could go up another place. It's going to be difficult to secure that promotion spot. but it certainly is a great statement of Irish athletics. It sharpens the pencil really as regards what needs to be done to take us to the next level. And I'm sure when the administrators go back and they analyse the results and they see it'll be pretty obvious what events we need to work on. But isn't that the way when you're looking for performance and you have a certain part of the page covered, then you go away and you work on the blank spots, and Irish athletics is looking in a good space this weekend, Will.
I would definitely feel the results we've seen on the track, and there have been a few good field results as well, but on the track, Ireland are of Super League quality. So the women's 200 metres, this is the first heat. It's Cynthia Bolingo and Bongo of Belgium in 2, as in Okparaibo of Norway in 3, Eva Kaptur of Hungary in 4, Lena Grintsikaite in lane 5, the former European under-23 champion from Kaunas in 2009 in Lithuania, her host nation, Katarina Hanchar of Belarus in 6, and Carla Tavares, sister of Sonia, who went in the 100 for Portugal, is in lane 7. Irish interest is in heat 2.
As always, we'll note the times here and then we'll compare them with our competitor, who's Kelly Proper, coming up in the next event. Next heat.
Away first time, and all pretty much away strongly together. Grintsikaite should impress in 5, but it's Eva Kaptur of Hungary who's leading at halfway, and Bolingo and Bongo of Belgium impressive also. This is one of the closest across the 6 we've seen so far. It's Bolingo and Bongo of Belgium and Kaptur of Hungary, and Kaptur will just take it on the line. Bolingo and Bongo in 2nd for Belgium, Carla Tavares 3rd for Portugal, and Hungary get the victory. Eva captured it well. Tavares came well on the line, just about in 2nd place.
So the winning time there was 24:11, so that's the time we'll be looking out for in the 2nd heat. Obviously the conditions have affected things. That's probably down a touch on what would be expected. So Kelly is up now next out. Kelly has a 23:38 this year from Geneva. The almost within touching distance of the qualifying time for Zurich, 23:35. B time is 23:65. So good chance here for Kelly to make a mark. Kelly's got a busy hour coming up now because she'll be in the long jump shortly as well.
For me, the biggest surprise was Grintsikaite finishing last, having won bronze at the last European Championships in Helsinki 2 years ago. European under-23 champion she was. Here's the full result, just to confirm that Tomas Kotter did take 9 points and 4th place, beating Kivistik of Estonia on the line. Brzezinskis winning for Lithuania.
That's a good day's work, another sub 850 for Tomas, and I'm sure they're all very happy back there in Dunleer.
And Kassos of Greece was disqualified, so they will get 0 points. And Greece were just above Ireland in 5th place. That's interesting. Kaptur wins, Tavares 2nd for Portugal, Bolingo and Bongo 3rd for Belgium. And the reason Lithuania did so poorly was that actually was a change in the starting lineup. It was Missionate competing for them and not Grintsikaite, because if it was the latter, she probably would have won.
Just to confirm, Laura Crow's time when finishing 2nd was 4:13.84, a couple of seconds outside her best, but when you look at the way the race was run and the way it speeded up near the end, a fine competitive performance. I suspect the last lap must have been run close to 64 seconds, so really she was very competitive out there, and back in Castle Island and her club on Riocht, I'm sure they're thrilled with that one.
So heat 2, and it's A change for Slovenia in 3 as Mihalinec comes in for Sabina Veit in 3. Latvia of Finland in 4. Balta Estonia 5. Morosanu Romania 6. Balabaski of Greece is in 7. And Kelly Proper goes in lane 8 for Ireland. Veit of Slovenia had been Universiad World University Games bronze medalist in 09. Latvia here, a silver medalist in that competition in Kazan last year, and she did well yesterday in the 100. Balta also competing in the long jump against Kelly Proper, the Estonian. European indoor champion in the long jump in 2009. Was junior bronze medalist in 05 in Europe. And Kelly Proper, the 17 times Irish indoor champion, a new record from Ferrybank AC. Competed in the European Championships in Barcelona in 2010. European Indoors in Paris the year after.
Kelly is one of the great personalities of Irish athletics. She's so versatile, she's so competitive, she always gives her all, and she won't let us down today. You just know that she's up for the fight all the time. She's a wonderful competitor across all the board, probably heading for the heptathlon for the European Championships, but so good at everything that she's capable of qualifying at both 200 metres and the long jump, the 2 events that she's competing in today. So 24:11, 24:12 was the winning time in the first heat. Let's see how Kelly fares against that kind of time.
Ogrezianu of Romania in this. European Junior Champion in 2009. European Under-23 Champion in 2011. And 2 bronzes at the Universiad, the World University Games in Kazan last year in the 100 and 200. A major talent from Romania. Just about everybody in this field has got a strong CV, and that includes the European indoor gold medalist who we saw, Balta of Estonia, Latvia World University Games silver medalist in Kazan, ahead of Ogrezianu. Medalist in 3 major competitions, and Kelly Proper, she's got a good chance. And 10 out of 10 to the Estonian announcer. Mihalinec of Slovenia in 3, Latvia Finland 4, Balta Estonia 5, Ogrezianu Romania 6, Balabazaki of Greece in 7, Proper of Ireland in 8, 24:11, winning time in heat 1. Away first time, looking for a good start from Proper, and she got one. Ogrezianu of Romania going strongly, so too Latvia of Finland. Like a rally driving namesake. Proper not doing too badly. The Greeks trying to move up. Belabaski hitting the front alongside Latvia of Finland. Proper in 4th at the moment. It will be Belabaski who'll win it for Greece. Proper will be in 4th place. Latvia 2nd, Balta 3rd, Proper 4th, and if she beats 24:11, that's 9 points for Ireland.
I think she will, Will. Those 2 races were perfectly seeded. The faster girls were across the board in that race. And Kelly, the winning time 23:11, the winning time at the first heat 24:12. She has to be in there around 23:6ish, 23:7.
Belabaski came very good in the end, ahead of Xenia Balta. Good start by Proper, great start by Ogrezianu. Romania just faded a little bit from there. Kelly Proper was going fine, then fought back a little bit on the straight, and this is where Belabazaki of Greece came to the fore. Great challenge by Xenia Balta for Estonia, and Proper in 4th.
Oh, she's a wonderful competitor, Proper. See the way she nailed that girl there for 4th place. She never gives up onto the line. Any young athlete looking for inspiration should look at Kelly Proper and her general attitude to athletics. She loves the sport and she loves to compete well. She loves winning. She loves doing the best she can. There we go, 4th place.
9 points for Ireland for Kelly Proper. 23:74 her time. Bela Bazaki wins for Greece. Latvala second for Finland. Balta third for Estonia. Back to the discus. Final round for the top four. Gerd Kanter currently lying in third place. The hosts comfortable. They had been battling relegation and avoided relegation by something like a solitary point. They finished 10th of the 12 last year. Bulgaria and Switzerland went down. And that was despite winning the sprints in the women through Yvette Lalova. Kanter not as long. He won't win at a Kanter today. Obviously would have preferred to have won on home soil. Probably would wish more to win in Zurich. Priorities. So Gerd Kanter, his third throw was his best. Third place for him, 61.33. Marco Pons finishing in 11th place for Ireland, and that's 2 points. Filip Milanov, second place for Belgium, and look at those throws. Two in around the same mark, 61 dead, 61.47. That around the same mark might have got beyond 62. Belgian discus throwing has not hit the headlines much before. Don't think that's an exaggeration to say. But he's done very well here today. That'll be an improvement. And he's beaten an Olympic champion. It's been a fabulous performance from this 21-year-old. Actually, it was 59.86. Second place for him. And that's victory then for Lithuania in the men's discus. And Andrius Gudzius, 61.92 is his best of the day.
So we've 200 metres for men coming up. Marcus Lawler making his senior debut for Ireland.
Well, that's around the same mark, not much of an improvement. So Marcus Lawler for Carlo. Next to go for Ireland, it's the men's 200 metres, and that's next, live on Irish TV. Day 2 of the European Athletics Team Championships First League from the Cadriog Stadium in Tallinn. Ireland overall, January 6th place at the moment. Doing very well, and the best track performers of the weekend. We're now into the women's shot put. Claire Fitzgerald of Tralee Harriers goes in this for Ireland. We've seen her in the discus already. Next track event is the men's 200 metres. Marcus Lawler going in that, and well, still just 1 year out of schools athletics. He'll be 19 now.
Yeah, Marcus goes in the second race. He's obviously filling in for Stephen Colbert, who was withdrawn from the team earlier in the week for the reasons that we all know. But Marcus is well up to the task, and he is the future. Himself and Zach Irwin, I think, are two of the brightest stars on the sprinting horizon. So he is the future, hopefully, of 200 metre running. He, of course, comes from a great stable. His mother, Patricia Hammond, was one of the great Irish 200 metre and 100 metre runners in the 80s for DCH. So Patricia now coaches her son, and she appears to be doing a very good job.
Evangelia Safani of Greece, the first thrower in the women's shot put. A strong field. Irina Rodriguez of Portugal and Anita Maton of Hungary have both won European Underage Championship medals previously, in the discus mainly. Caitlin Pirimai of Estonia. Second to go. That's just beyond 15 metres there from Pirimae. Fitzgerald will be the sixth to throw in this. We may get a chance to see her in action before the heats of the 200 metres go. Marcus Lawler will go in the second of those.
Once again, you're looking at an event where the countries that we're up against have a particular tradition in. They love their throwing in the Scandinavian countries, the Eastern European countries. Strong tradition there. They'd be far more interested in these events than they would be in the actual running events.
Irina Rodriguez of Portugal, who are stronger on the track. That again around 15 metres. An Olympian, obviously.
And Portugal is a good example of mixing the two. Portugal have very fine runners, as we all know, but they are producing some very good field events as well, so it can be done.
At major championships, there's a dedicated OB unit, dedicated feed of each different individual event. So nations such as Estonia, for example, when Kanter is going in the discus, will concentrate on that and largely that alone. Opening heat of the men's 200 metres, Janicic of Slovenia, Salaskauskis of Lithuania, Pastor of Hungary, Kevin Borley of Belgium, Abrantes of Portugal, and Terpezan of Romania. Kevin Borley, very strong at twice this distance. The prospect he could score high for Belgium here out of Heat 1, which contains the 6 lower seeds of the 12. He's won 7 major medals before. Bronze in the 2011 World Championships in Daegu over 400 metres. European champion in Barcelona 2010 in the 4x4. And in the 400 metres. Also an indoor silver medalist twice in the 4x4. World Championship bronze, and European champion. And that was 2011 and 2010 respectively.
You can see now where the temperature has dropped to 9 degrees Celsius, so that's quite chilly here, and it's very chilly for sprinting, which is why the times are all down a little bit. Combine that with the wet track, so it's not particularly what sprinters are looking for, but it is typical European team competition type weather, as we witnessed in Santry last year when we got all 4 seasons on both days.
Where Emma Green Tregaro of Sweden won the women's high jump, and as they were promoted, a slightly lesser field in that this year. Daniela Stanciu doing well in that for the moment. Katrina Farrell's in that for Ireland. Details on that later. But the 200 metres for now. Janicic, Sakalauskas, Pastor, Borley, Abrantes and Simpianu. So away first time. Expect a strong start. Maybe an even stronger finish from Borley, but it's Pastor of Hungary who's flying at the moment, and Abrantes has won quite a number of underage titles for Portugal in the flat and in the relay, and he's coming to the front here. Abrantes, Borley moving up, and Pastor as well. Borley's just edged it, and then between Pastor of Hungary and Abrantes of Portugal for second and third. Simpianu of Romania was in fourth.
Yeah, I'm not sure the seeders have done as good a job here as they did in the women's race. I think you're going to see very even performances across both races, so there's going to be a right mix and gathering of times and arranging to be done when they get the 2 results of these and they try to put them in place order, because that was a very even race and a very high quality race. Kevin Borley, better known as a 400 metre runner, but he showed a nice turn of pace there over the furlong.
Yes, there's now 4 of the Borley siblings, and actually you could just see as well at the back Salaskauskis of Lithuania pulled up, so they'll get 0 points for that. Borley could be very close to the overall victory. 21:49 was the winning time there.
So Marcus knows what he has to do in the second race. He has run faster than that in the past. He's run 21:05 in Geneva fairly recently, so he's up to the task. The day isn't as conducive, so we'll be looking for a competitive performance from Marcus.
190, first attempt for the leader in the women's high jump, Anna Ilyushenko of Estonia. They narrowly stayed up last year. It's a bit easier for them this. They're mid-table. That quite won't help them for now. We're watching all weekend. Lily Keating from Limerick, thank you very much. Georgina Fitzgerald in London. Mary Glenn in Philadelphia. Michael Reardon and Kieran Carlin, who I knew would be watching anyway. And thanks to all of you. We had a massive sheet with about 40 names. You know who you are. Thank you very much. We absolutely appreciate it. As I said yesterday, it's only the second time that this division of the European Team Championships has been shown on television. It has been a pleasure to be involved both times, I must say. Ireland are definitely holding their own in this. Right now, 6th place, which we'll try not to mention it too early. If they were to stay there, would be the highest finish ever for Ireland in a team championships. Had previously been divided up differently. Ilyushenko wins it then. Stansiu second. Angelson third for Norway. Neshta Kaite 4th for Lithuania. Ruslava 5th for Belarus. Ireland in the bottom 4 again in a field event, I fear. Katrina Farrell picks up 2 points for Ireland. She cleared 1.70 m. At this Deirdre Ryan's event, finished 6th in the World Championships in Daegu 2011. Had moved out to Germany for work. Had no funding, but a personal sponsorship deal was arranged for her. That's the winning time for Borlée. Rounded up unusually, normally rounded down. 21.50 for Kevin Borlée, winning for Belgium. So Ireland currently in 6th place, 10 points off Norway. Only about 15 points away from promotion now. And that is a very good sign indeed.
Yeah, we're getting closer every time they show a table. 198, that's fantastic. 12 points off promotion.
Now Marcus
can this young man do anything to help us?
Well, from St. Lawrence O'Toole's in Carlow, the double school sprint champion, 2012, 2013. National record holder for the schools championships, junior, 6th fastest Irishman of all time.
And you know, back in 1985, his mother Patricia won this equivalent of this event, the Europa Cup in Iceland, over 400 metres. So she's got one in the cupboard over him.
Well, he's up against Yaisuma Saidi Ndore, who won the 100 metres yesterday for Norway. Bronze medal in the European 100 metres in Helsinki 2 years ago, and previously when competing for Gambia was an African 100 metres bronze medalist. Marek Neat goes for Estonia, world junior champion 2006, and was the NCAA 4x4 relay champion 2013. But Marcus Lawler, really exciting, 19 years old, turned 19 in February. It's Alexander Linik of Belarus in 2, Rantala of Finland in 3, Tsakonis of Greece in 4, Marek Neat of Estonia 5, Saidi Ndore of Norway in lane 6, and Marcus Lawler in lane 7.
He really is a talent, Marcus Lawler. I recall at the All-Ireland Schools last June 12 months when he won the 200 metres in a record time. There was a gasp from the crowd. The gap was so much that everybody knew they were looking at something special when he broke that 200 metre record. It was one of the great performances of Irish schools athletics. So hopefully he can build on that now. Here's a senior career now that he's at the apron of, so good luck to him. What a nice competition to make his debut in.
It's not a day for records. The Irish record in this, 20.30 seconds from Paul Hessian, who announced his retirement this weekend. And what a career he had. Linnick, Rantala, Tsakonis, Neat, Sadi and Dore and Lawler. And Lawler on the outside in lane 8. They've moved everybody up one lane as a result of the wet conditions. Men's 200 metres, heat 2, 21.50 the target. They were held slightly long. Good start by Tsakonis. Sadi and Dore means Lawler is something to aim for here. Man who's been a European medalist at the last championships in Helsinki. Neat going well. Sadi and Dore is powerful. Lawler looking in 6th. It's between Tsakonis and Sadi and Dore. Lawler 6th, 20.69 the winning time, and that was very fast from the Norwegian. Marcus Lawler takes 6th place.
Yeah, I'd hazard a guess that he just might have crept in. He might hold on to that 6th place. It might be marginally faster than Kevin Borley did in the first heat, but that's only on my hand time watch here. We'll have to await for the electronic timing, but he gave a very good account of himself there. That was a very, very classy field that he was up against. Well done, Marcus Lawler.
Well, he probably was alongside the right man in Jason Sadi and Dore, who does the double at these European Team Championships. Won the 100 yesterday, the 200 today. What a fantastic start. And Lawler, marvellous in schools athletics. Still only 19, and now he's up against some of the best in Europe already. So he can see the standard that he has to aim for. I think in your handheld timing, that was around 21.4. 21.50 was the target. Might just have taken 6th overall, which would be 7 points, which would be another positive result for Ireland. I think he's a cousin of Padraig Garman, formerly of Shamrock Rovers, who's now at Morecambe. 21.58. And that would be 7th for me, and that would be 6 points.
Marginally outside, yeah. 7th or 8th, but still a very good performance. He was called in late in the day, gave a very good account of himself in a very, very good field. He can only benefit from that level of competition.
Yeah, Sadi and Dore, well, it was a wonderful result, 20.70. Another good result. Now, women's long jump. Kelly Proper's in this as well. Right to the end of the field, to your right to your picture, after a great result in the 200. I mean, a brilliant performer. Great to watch, very emotive.
Yeah, I think if there's anybody can galvanise the field events effort this weekend, it's Kelly, with her enthusiasm and her general competitiveness. And she is a serious competitor in this event anyway. She has a personal best of 6:45. The qualifying time for the Europeans is just 6:55, so she's very close to it. She's loads to chase today, and she's going to be competitive here. And hopefully she can produce the points. She might even produce more individual points than anybody else this weekend, because don't forget she's got 9 from the 200 metres already.
She's a good prospect in this. Also, Volga Sudoreva of Belarus, silver in the European Championships in Helsinki 2012. And you may say, well, we can field. A few didn't compete due to the Olympics. Well, she finished 4th in the World Championships last year in Moscow and was 3rd for a long time. Marilyn Lindemans of Belgium, the World Youth Champion in Lille in 2011. Bronze medal there. Heptathlete. Kristela Jorkatam replaces Grit Sadeko in this for Estonia. And there's Kelly. Record holder for the amount of Irish indoor titles. And the Irish outdoors last year was all right. Won everything. Seamus Carey, Says Irish TV coverage is excellent. We will pay you later. Thank you. Maura Walker's watching in Swindon. Formerly the home of Glenn Hoddle. Brian O'Neill in Kildare. Eddie Fitzgerald in Arizona. Never the home of Glenn Hoddle. Trevor Nash in Ballina and James Maher or Maher, depending which half of Templemore you live in. Hello to you all. Shot put is progressing on as well, where Valerie Adams is the force. Belarus, they've had an interesting time with the women's shot put the last couple of years. They won everything, and then all the medals were taken away and given to Val Adams because Shane Byrne had been a very naughty girl. So for Belarus here instead is Yulia Janczuk. Claire Fitzgerald threw a few moments ago. I fear there are no live results here in comparison to what we had in Santry last year, which just shows what a great job was done in Santry last year, but a decent job being done by Tallinn. And the Belarusian leads the women's shot put. For Belgium, Jean-Léon Boumko.
Well, last time we looked at a league table, we were on 198 points. That's probably shy of about 8 events that still have to be counted in. So you've got to hope that we're going to improve significantly on last year's performance at 242 points. You've got to hope that that's going to improve on last year's placing of 7th. We were in 6th, we're eyeing 5th, and we're not that far away from 3rd. It's just been a very, very good weekend for Irish athletics, a very strong weekend, and it certainly has shown us up to be one of the coming nations in European athletics.
Well, after 30 events, Ireland in 6th place, 16 points behind Greece. Estonia doing very well this year in comparison to last, the help of home advantage. Bit of a gap between Ireland and Belarus in 5th. The track results have been fantastic.
You've got to say that overall it's a wonderful team competition when you see everybody so close there. From second to 5th is extremely close, just 6 points there, so one performance can change that thing on its head. And we're knocking at the door. We're on our 200 now, and we're getting ambitious here.
Greece, Norway, Lithuania went down last year, and Norway doing well, Lithuania not. Just one good result previously in one of the other events, and Ireland would be 3-4 points away from the promotion places. 3 teams go up.
Yeah, and you know the difference between this year and last year is last year we were sitting on the terraces or standing on the terraces giving out about certain athletes who weren't there, who were missing. These athletes, they're there. Everybody's there this year. There's no obvious absentees, and what a difference it makes to the team spirit, the team effort, the team performance. And we just got to keep building on this, and we go away and we work on the events that we're not as strong as we would like to be on, and we can start thinking premiership within a year or two, I think.
Yeah, there were a few injuries last year. I know Derval O'Rourke had an injury in the week of the competition. Fionnuala Britton had, I think it was a chest complaint, so had to pull out on the Wednesday. But she was still sitting in the stands during the week, desperately wanted to be there. I'll just give you the track scores only, taking away the field. Ireland top 173. Next would be Norway on 164. Then it would be Greece on 142, Finland 141, and Estonia the 5th best so far at 137. And that just track only, taking away the field, and there are 4 track events to come. The 4x4 relays, the men's 3,000 metres with the men's team captain David McCarthy, and the women's 5,000 with Fionnuala Britton. I mean, that's absolutely brilliant. It's great.
Absolutely, and those 4 track events, you can expect that we're going to get fairly significant points from all 4 of them. So our contribution and performance on the track in particular has been astounding, above expectations, I would have to say, this weekend. I just can't speak positively enough about this whole effort this weekend. It's been tremendous boost for everybody involved in the sport, and a tremendous tribute to the athletes themselves for, first of all, committing to the event I'm sure they're all delighted that they're there now. Every man, woman and athlete amongst them, everybody would be delighted that they decided to come, because you come away from a weekend like that with a wonderful buzz, and it's a great bonding exercise, and I'm sure the coaches and team managers and everybody out there is really enjoying the experience, because athletics, it's very individualistic at the best of times. It's very selfish at the best of times, and everybody's just really looking after their own corner. So there's few enough events like this where you get together as a team and you get that sense of comradeship and team that is so important for the sport, because look, we're a small enough community and we have to bond together if we want to grow and become powerful.
Back in Tallinn for the women's 5,000 metres featuring Fionnuala Brittain. It's a strong field. Anna Dulce Felix is in this also, who won gold in Helsinki in the last European Championships in the 10,000 metres, where Fionnuala Brittain, what a brave, brilliant performance in 4th place. It was only the second 10,000 metres of her life. It's Kristina Papp of Hungary, Camilla Richardson of Finland, Fionnuala Brittain of Ireland, Sonia Roman of Slovenia, Volker Masunralak of Belarus, Almains Balete, talented Belgian cross-country champion, Raza Drasdas-Kaute of Lithuania, Runa Skrol-Falch of Norway, Anka Maria Buena of Romania, Oriana Rabuli of Greece, Yekaterina Paciuk of Estonia, who's mainly a steeplechaser, and the great Anna Dulce Felix of Portugal.
Good day for 5,000 metre running, really. I think effectively this race is going to come down to 3 athletes. I'd be surprised if any of the others are really involved in it. Balete of Belgium, Fionnuala Brittain, of course, and Dulce Felix of Portugal. They're the class of the field. Their times are way ahead of the others. So you would expect that the race, unless it becomes ridiculously tactical, will evolve down to the 3 of them. Good day for distance running, in a sense that no wind, cool enough, and nothing to stop a runner like Fionnuala hitting the front and banging it out there as long as she can, as hard as she can, and seeing what that does to the opposition, because that's probably the best way to go about it. I suspect, I'm not sure, that Felix isn't in as good a shape as she normally is. Fionnuala on paper is the 3rd fastest of those 3 girls. Fionnuala herself, it's been a slow burn this season, but she did run a PB 3,000 metres last weekend, 8:50, and she's back with her coach Chris Jones, which is good news. So I think her graph is on an upward curve as well.
There were 3 months apart. We will be seeing a bit of the women's long jump as well, and a foul for the Hungarian Fanny Schmelz in the opening round. Kelly Proper will be up after Jana Sivalainen of Finland. We did have a word with Estonian TV last night, so we shouldn't have a repeat of what happened yesterday, where the entirety of one race was missed and just the final 100 metres of another in terms of the longer distances. So don't be too anxious for now. You can be in a couple of minutes though. Here's Jana Sivalainen of Finland. Her first attempt in the women's long jump. We are in a field event nation pretty much, as are a number of the 12 who are competing here. Don't think she was the happiest with that, to be honest. Gave it a good whirl. Kelly Proper to come. And she's currently in 7th place, and that was 6 metres dead. Finland, a great field event nation as well. The national broadcaster YLE for a long time organised the world feed for World Athletics Championships. Well, here's Kelly. Her first attempt, Kelly Proper from Ferrybank AC in Waterford. Great result in the 200 metres. A high point score in 4th.
Be good to see Kelly put a good marker down here, get a good jump in early on.
So let's see how strongly she can do in the opening round. Used a lot of the board. Hopefully not too much. Solid 650 jumper in her career. Ireland in a strong position in 6th, close to 5th, red flag. Now, puts a little bit of pressure on in the second round, because the first round, you try and do it conservatively enough, get a good mark on the board, try and improve in the second. That was the first round, and we're going into the second round now with Nina Djordjevic of Slovenia, who missed out in the first round. I will remind you, the pictures are from Estonian television, and there is one feed and one feed only for all 12 nations. I know one of our all-time greats, Sonia O'Sullivan, was saying on Twitter, wondering if there was a red button option. I fear not. This is it. But we do have an understanding with Estonian television that they will show us at least the final 2 laps of every longer distance race today. She didn't use the board that much, so that's fine, and that should get her into a firm position up the field. Yeah, 6:21 puts her in 3rd place, which is what Kelly pretty much, I think, would have been aiming for in the first round, but will be in the second. For Belarus now, this is Volga Surareva. Fionnuala Britton's doing very well, by the way, at the moment on the track. She's in the lead, as you can see, and it's Anna Dulce Felix just behind. So far, so good for Fionnuala, with around 4 laps gone, 5 minutes and 45 seconds into the race. If you're a track nation, this is where it gets frustrating, but I know there are lots of fans of field events who go absolutely mad when at different meetings the field events are ignored, either through...
There's Fionnuala now with Dulce Felix and Belete behind her, so it's as expected in terms of form, and Fionnuala looks confident. She's pulling it out, she's doing what she should do, making it hurt for them, and Fionnuala always runs well from the front. Early days, just coming up to 5 laps, but Fionnuala looks to be in a good space there.
Well, these are the 4 athletes who've got the best CVs. Now, Belete may not be as medalled as the other 3 that she's up with, but she's a really good, firm competitor. She's 24 years old now. Anna Dulce Felix sitting in the front.
Well, there you are now. There's the race. She's obviously got a little bit of a deal going there with Felix. She nodded to her to take over, and I'm glad to see that Felix did take over, and it had the immediate effect of breaking the 2 behind. So very shortly this race is going to be down to the 2 of them, and I do hope Fionnuala has it in her. I'm glad that she's sharing the pace there, because I would hate to see Felix just stalking her there behind. So Fionnuala looks very confident, and they'll be buoyed up by the fact that that bit of pace there succeeded in dropping the other 2. So Belete looks like she's a decreasing factor, which is good news. This is actually looks like a very fast lap. This looks like about a 70-second lap, and they were probably running about 75, 76, so it's a very significant increase in pace, and it's had a ferocious effect on the rest of the field, and you're looking now at a 2-lady race coming up to about halfway.
Anna Dulce Felix, her main successes have been on the cross-country circuit, 9 international medals either at the World Cross Country or the Europeans, and Fionnuala, well, she's only really come into the track in the last couple of years, and her first race on the track, 10,000 metres, was 2 years ago. It qualified her for Helsinki for the European Championships, and she finished 4th, and it was a really superb performance from her. She's doing very well. We're just going to cross over to a major factor in the shot put, which is Anita Marton, and she's one of the biggest names in that. So those watching in Hungary will be keen to see how she's doing, but at the moment it's between Anna Dulce Felix and Fionnuala Britton, the top 2 in the women's 5,000 metres. Still quite a bit to go in that, and that is around a 17-metre throw, and a very good throw from Anita Marton, who's been a regular medalist on the shot put circuit the last couple of years.
Britton and Felix were 8:01, 8:02 at 6.5 laps, which would indicate that they're going to go through 3k in about 9:15, 9:16. So you're probably looking at a 15:30 type 5,000 at the moment, somewhere between 15:20, 15:30. So that pace would definitely account for the fact that why the rest of the field isn't with them. So I suspect is going to come down to who's strongest, and I think Fionnuala is fitter than Felix, so I would be very hopeful that she'll be able to do something here.
Well, leading the shot put at the moment for Belarus is Julia Liansuk. Britain just marginally in front of Dulce Felix now in the 5,000 metres. It's around 5 laps to go, but we are seeing the main shot putters for the moment, and that's beyond 17 metres, and well, that's why she's the main shot putter. She has been well schooled in Belarus. It was a solid throw by Liansuk in a nation of solid throwers. Still very tight between Britain and Dulce Felix. Britain was marginally in front. That the best of the day from Liansuk, 18.48, and Liansuk leads, and Liansuk wins. That was the final throw of the competition, and the women's shot put is now over. This is how it's ended. Liansuk wins for Belarus, Marton second for Hungary, Piramaya third for Estonia, Bumko fourth for Belgium, Husam Vitan and Safani, again I fear no Irish competitor in the top 8, so it'll be 4 points or under. Claire Fitzgerald competing in this for Ireland, and every event is equal. And well, 4 points, 14.01, that'll do, 9th place. Well done, Claire Fitzgerald of Tralee Harriers.
Yeah, well done, Claire, that's a good 4 points. As well as trying to win the race, Fionnuala, the pace is good here, so I suspect she's probably chasing the European qualifying time, which is 15 minutes 30 seconds, and that's the kind of pace that they appear to be running there at the moment. It's been slow burn this year for Fionnuala in terms of her track season. She did get the 10,000 metre qualifying time over in Highgate, time at 32.57 about a month ago.
There's still the same margin. Britain about a metre or two ahead of Dulce Felix. We've still got about 4 minutes of racing to go. So they'll introduce the javelin field for the men. Matthew Martin of North Down AC, same club as Ben Reynolds. He goes in this, the men's javelin. The winner gets 12 points, as does the winner of the women's 5,000 metres. And at the moment, it's a battle for 12 points or 11 points for Fionnuala Britain. And this is the battle. Dulce Felix back out in front marginally. We've got 3 laps to go. Anna Dulce Felix, 3 times a team gold medalist of the European cross country, including Santry Domain in 2009. Fionnuala Britain, twice the individual champion in Velenia, in Budapest.
Fionnuala's just about hanging on here. Dulce Felix is putting the foot down. I think the sharing is over, and now the race is on, and Dulce has got a few yards on Fionnuala. Fionnuala's running around 15.20, 15.25 pace. Okay, if the race is going to be lost, I don't think it's fully lost yet. She's gritting her teeth and hanging on, but if it's to be lost, there is the bonus of going and trying getting that 5,000 metre qualifying time, but it's not over yet. She's hanging in there.
Anna Dulce Felix leading out Fionnuala Britain at the moment, but the margin is manageable in the context of a 5,000 metres race. 1,000 metres just under to go. Britain won't be too worried about where she is at the moment. Just behind Anna Dulce Felix. Britain finished 4th in Helsinki in the European Championships, behind the Portuguese, who's the reigning 10,000 metres European champion. The gap just narrowing slightly. Dulce Felix having a little look on the inside. We've got 2 laps to go. It's Dulce Felix who leads Fionnuala Britain, and the lapping is about to commence.
Yeah, this is a fine race. Fionnuala's really gritting her teeth and hanging on. Dulce is at full tilt trying to get away. Dulce has thrown her cards on the table here, so if Fionnuala can just weather this storm here and hang in there, then it's possible. But are we looking at an increasing gap there?
I certainly think so. Dulce Felix has put the foot down a little bit. The gap is around 10 metres, 12, 13, and now as they move to the outside lane to start lapping those who are behind. That's the Greek who's being lapped at the moment, Oriana Rabouli. And Dulce Felix has a body between her and Britain now. Britain will be overtaking the Greek shortly. Dulce Felix just has an increasing margin, constantly looking over her inside shoulder. Little look as well down at the watch to see how the pace is going. 500 metres to go.
This is a rivalry that goes back a long way. Both athletes are very familiar with each other's strengths and weaknesses. Dulce has panicked a little bit by looking over her shoulder a couple of times. She's still looking there. That's manna to heaven for Fionnuala when she sees that glance coming. So if she's got anything in her at all, and I suspect she will have one last dig, she will have a go at her. And Fionnuala can finish fast. Don't ever doubt her.
300 metres to go. Anna Dulce Felix, the reigning European 10,000 metres champion, leads for Portugal. Fionnuala Britton lying in second place in a day in which Ireland have been fantastic on the track. Ireland have been the leading track nation at these European Team Championships so far, but the gap is widening. Dulce Felix looks as if she's going to get another track win over Britton here. Half a lap to go, and she went to the right time, but Britton was only burnt off realistically in the final 400 metres. The rest were cast aside. They both went with around 4 laps to go, and the rest were nowhere. Britton's done very well here.
She's actually coming again. She's giving it a good go, Fionnuala. It's a very, very brave run. Dulce has thrown her cards on the table, but she will get there. She will get there. There is enough time.
And Felix wins for Portugal. Fionnuala Britton finishes in second place. 15:21:31 the winning time. Fionnuala Britton second for Ireland, 11 points. It's a great result.
It's a very good run, and she has qualified for the 5,000 metres for the Europeans now, so she will be slightly consoled by that. Very brave run by Fionnuala. The two best women in the race ended up fighting it out, and I see the Belgian Belede ended up 4th. She would have been the 3rd ranked going into it.
Yeah, she's a super athlete, Anna Dulce Felix. Fionnuala's not that bad herself, obviously. And they were the two classiest acts, and it showed in the result. And that's something for Fionnuala in reserve for Zurich in 2 months' time. I mean, Irish prospects are looking very good for the European Championships later on in the summer. The results this weekend, fine. This is the championship. This is the second flight. We don't have Germany or Sweden or Britain here or Poland, but this is very, very encouraging. Excellent win for Felix. Got it absolutely right. Britain, almost perfect.
But she has played her part. She's thrown 11 points into the pot, and we get nearer and nearer that promotion spot if everybody could throw in 11 points. Well done, Fionnuala.
Oh, she did very, very well. And you know what? She'll be massively disappointed. She's a winner. She wants to win every race.
Of course she will. That's the nature of the beast, and I wouldn't expect anything different. But you know, you've got to, when you're dealing with the disappointment of losing, you have to console yourself. You have to console the athlete with the positives that happened. The positives are that her form is coming around. It's her fastest 5,000 for quite a while. She has a 15:12 from London 2 years ago, but that 15:23 she ran today is as fast as she's run for a long time. Her form is getting better. She was competitive there against a very competitive lady, and it's all about peaking for Zurich. Off a 5,000 like that, she'd probably run a very good 10,000 in Zurich.
Well, the men's javelin is in progress, and we'll watch this keenly because Antti Ruskinen of Finland is the 8th to throw, and it'll be big Irish interest next. That's a tremendous throw. Finland have come to the fore. Ruskinen has had some impressive results. Finland have done. Sorry, I'm actually, the colour has put us off, so we'll have to wait a few more minutes to see Matthew Martin. That's Risto Matas for Estonia, who's the 5th to throw. Ruskinen will come later. Same colours, obviously, Estonia and Finland. It's a foul for Matas anyway, so nothing to get excited about. But in contrast, brilliant 5,000 metres, every reason to get excited about that, and for the Irish results this weekend.
Oh, in terms of its contribution to the team effort, that was top-notch, 11 points. Superb effort by Fionnuala, showing great leadership. We're still waiting for that winning woman. Are we going to get one today? Kelly Proper in the long jump is probably our best chance at this stage, and wouldn't it be wonderful if we got some high points in a field event?
Well, 4 Irish wins so far. 17 Irish athletes have finished in the top 5, and only 2 on the track have not managed to get into the top 5. You can't really, well, you can say better than that, but it would be very unfair. Aye, just a fingertip, that was the foul. Just a fingertip. And we had a situation, by the way, in Daegu where I think it was in the women's triple jump. The name escapes me, but it was a Bulgarian athlete, looked to have gone very, very far. Was marked down maybe half a metre down from where she should have been, finished 4th, and it turned out it was because her ponytail had landed behind her and had made an indentation in the sand that had cost her a medal. Probably could have won. So they are exacting. It was a fingertip there that denied Estonia that time. So some very positive results for Ireland so far. Top of the hour, we will have the men's 3,000 metres and David McCarthy.
And don't rule out a victory there, Will. If we're looking for a 5th victory, that's possibly where it could come from. David McCarthy is a good athlete and good nick, and 3,000 metres is a perfect distance for him, so I'd be hopeful. And also, we did win the 4x400 metre men's relay last year, and on our team today we've got 2 individual winners from yesterday in Brian Gregan and Thomas Barr, so you gotta say there's a chance there as well.
Yes, we have had the 4x4 teams confirmed, which will bring you very shortly. There are 3 races left on the track, still quite a bit happening in this competition in terms of field events. Matthew Martin will be seeing very shortly. Sultan Magyari now, Ruskinen, then Martin will go. Martin still young. First time he'll have represented Ireland at something at this level, the 20-year-old. Good prospect, but we'll see how good in the next few minutes. Natasya Miranyuk Ivanova, by the way, of Belarus. She finished in 4th place, was knocked back around 30 centimetres due to her ponytail landing in the sand behind her. She would have won gold. She finished 4th. The lesson, keep your hair short. Athletics judges are exacting, and that's why the Estonian Metas was denied. Let's go back to the women's long jump for the time being. Kelly Proper competing in this in Ireland. And for Romania, this is Alina Rotaru. Solidly around 650. Not the happiest about how things have fared for her here, I feel. Felt she could have gone further. Felt she could have avoided a foul, but she's leading anyway, 6:52 in the second round. So for Finland in the men's javelin, throw of Antti Ruskinen, we're in the opening round in this, and that was shy of 80 metres, around 75. Ruskinen, one of the better seeded in this event, and in terms of records, he's doing exactly what he should be. He's leading 78 metres 11 in front. First throw, thank you very much. So here's the latest situation. Ireland have fallen to 7th place. Some field scores have come in. And Ireland not doing as well in those as Ireland are on the track. Only about 40 points contributed by the field so far. The rest, 175 odd points coming from the track. Promotion might just be beyond Ireland now. Finland, Greece, Norway in the promotion places for the Super League. Belarus, Romania, Estonia next. And Estonia just stayed up last time. Hungary in big trouble, almost relegated. Slovenia may be going back to the third flight from whence they came at the end of last year. And Lithuania, who were in the Super League last year, were relegated, might be suffering 2 relegations in a row. Now this is Martin throwing for Ireland in the javelin. And there's Fionnuala Britton's margin of a defeat to the hands of Dulce Felix in the end, 2.05 seconds. Good win for Felix. Fionnuala Britton in second place.
That last points total, Will, didn't include Fionnuala's 11 points from that 5,000 metres, so that obviously would make a bit of a difference. Just on a little exercise of where our firsts and seconds are coming from, how wonderful it is to see the broad mix of counties that these people come from. Brian Gregan is a Dub, Thomas Barr is Waterford, Paul Robinson Kildare, Mark English Donegal, Laura Crowe Kerry and Fionnuala Britton Wicklow. So it just shows that athletics is strong right across the broad spectrum of our country, and those 6, they should be heroes in the areas that they come from. I'm sure they are.
Well, I remember working on a Setanta Sports Cup game up in Sligo, the semi-final back in April, and the back page of the paper, because Sligo Rovers had lost the weekend, Zach Irwin was on the back page of the Sligo champion.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very important that these athletes be heroes in their local community and that people appreciate how good they are and what they put into their sport and the pride they can bring to their area, their county, their whatever.
And he obviously is a very good Sligo champion. Fanny Schmelz of Hungary in 8th place. Kelly Proper will go 2 after this. As I said, there are no live results, and I fear the non-live results are also down for now, so if we don't see Kelly jumping, we don't know how she's doing. But here's Schmelz for Hungary. That looks better than her previous attempts for sure. In terms of the field results for Ireland so far today, Aoife Hickey was 10th in the women's hammer, Marco Pons 11 in the discus. For Finland then, Sivalainen, again that just beyond 6 meters. She's had happier days. I think that's been a reaction after every jump.
I do hope we can get a look at Kelly here so we can get a sense of how she's doing.
It's very much a packed program. It's not like a normal European Championships. 6 meters twice for Sivalainen. 9th place, that's 4 points for Finland. And she was hoping for better. So here's Kelly Proper.
Oh my.
We've seen this story once or twice before. Misses out in the I think this happened to her exactly in Barcelona in the Europeans. First 2 missed. Pressure on in the 3rd. Solid mark. That's what she's looking for. I think that's shy of 6 meters, but she got the white flag. Now, had this been a foul, no points for Ireland. But she'll get, well, I think maybe 9th. That looked around 570, 580, 572, 11th place, 2 points. She won't be happy. She will be very, very unhappy. But I promise you, it is literally better than nothing. We're back in Tallinn for these European Athletics Teams Championships, the first league, live from the Cadriogue Stadium. Kelly Proper striding away. I'd say quite unhappy with finishing in 11th place. Sudoreva, second again for Belarus in the long jump. Solid 650 jump, which is what Kelly is regularly capable of, though it didn't happen today. Alina Rotaru will get top points for Romania. A miss in round 3. How does she wrap up having won? It's beyond 6 meters again. Turned 21 a fortnight ago. Sights firmly, like all European athletes, on Zurich. And she will. That's the best of the day, 662. So the result of the long jump, and I fear Ireland don't make page one of this either. Rotaru winning 662, Sudoreva second for Belarus, Akpana Asa of Norway in third, and Kelly Proper in 11th place for Ireland, 572. That's after 2 fouls. So now the final individual event on the track of the weekend, the men's 3,000 metres, and it features the Irish men's team's captain, David McCarthy of West Waterford AC, a European under-23 bronze medalist from Cairns in 2009, coached by Chris Jones. Tidrick Norma, 17 national titles, and an Olympian in 2008, and who won his race when Estonia won promotion last time in 2011. Good chance in this for David McCarthy.
There is a good chance, but let's temper it a bit. There are 2 athletes who are significantly faster than him on paper. Bashir Abdi of Belgium has a 7:44, and Henrik Ingebrigtsen of Norway has a 7:42. Not sure what kind of shape they're in at the moment, so they are class athletes.
Well, Ingebrigtsen finished 4th in the Bislett Games, so I would say
he's in good
form. That was a nice shot, by the way, of all the tricolours, and not Estonian ones either. Well, Ingebrigtsen has been in brilliant form. He's the reigning European 1500 metres champion, was 5th in the Olympic Games, 4th in Oslo in the Dream Mile. The full field then in the men's 3,000 metres. Rui Pinto of Portugal, Laszlo Gregor of Hungary, Riku Martinen of Finland, David McCarthy of Ireland, Vidzevnik of Slovenia, Sarhai Platonov of Belarus, Bashir Abdi of Belgium, Simas Bertasius of Lithuania, Henrik Ingebrigtsen of Norway, Andrei Stefanov of Romania, Markus Goulis of Greece, and Tidrick Norma of Estonia. And
7.5 laps of the track. This is the classic kind of makey up distance of between 1,500 metres and 5,000 metres. It's not an Olympic distance, but promoters always seem to feel that they have to put a 3,000 metres on their programme. But it is a very good event, and it is a nice mix of, I suppose, distance and middle distance. David McCarthy is a good practitioner of this event. He brings good speed to it. He's got a 146 800 metres historically. He's done 149 this year. He has a 339 1500 this year. He's a very fine cross-country runner in his own right. So he has a classic mix of what is required in a middle distance runner. He's building on his strength. He's working now with Chris Jones in a very good group there in Dublin, and he's got his head in a good space again. He was always a very fine athlete right from the time he was a kid back down in West Waterford when he was winning schools races for fun. He's got a sub 50 400 metres, which is wonderful speed for a middle distance runner, and I just hope he can give a good account of himself here today.
Yeah, McCarthy in 6th place at the moment in the javelin. Ruskinen throwing for Finland. Consistency the key for the leader. 5 centimetres between his first 2 throws. For North Down AC, Matthew Martin for Ireland in 11th place, 60.86. And as I keep repeating, even if all of the field competitors just squeezed into the second page, even an 8th place finish for all of them, which I know won't happen. Ireland would be in the top 4. So Matthew Martin looking for improvement of a few meters here.
I think what we have to hope here is that the field events people will see how strong the track people were and what can be achieved with hard work. And there is an awful lot of good hard work going on around the country, and there are an awful lot of good young athletes coming through, and it will come good, but they've got to believe in it and they've got to want it more, and we can build a great athletics nation.
He's fouled out. He will not improve. Matthew Martin remains in 11th place. It was well shy of his first round attempt of 60 metres. So to Slovenia then, and Matej Kranic. We will return to the 3000 shortly. David McCarthy was in 6th place when last we saw. 74.71 in the opening round. And for a country like Ireland, that's the target. No nation is good at every event, but if you get solid enough, at enough, and the way things are standing, by the way, Ireland was 7th, so that would equal the best ever performance at the European Team Championships, which again is great. It would be 2 7th places in a row, 19th overall, and really just a few field results knocking Ireland back a little bit, that's all. Best track nation here. It's remarkable.
It is remarkable, and it is a strong responsibility now on David McCarthy to keep up that aura of responsibility and throw in his few points into the pot. He is a competitive athlete. He is going to be in about the first 4 or 5 at worst. 3, anything from 3 upwards would be a super performance.
Mieleshka of Belarus in 9th place, 64.99. A reminder, the picture's controlled by Estonian television. We see what they show. That's a foul, I think. Wouldn't mind. That was, well, actually was going to be short of 70 anyway. McCarthy is comfortably settled in the pack. Everybody grouped together at the moment in the 3,000 metres. Nobody's pulled away at the front and nobody's dropped off at the back.
Yeah, we're almost 5 minutes into that 3,000 metres, so you can take it that they've gone 4 laps anyway. The pace does look slow, that's why they were all together, so there's going to be a right old wind-up. And you know what, that might suit David McCarthy because he is a good 800 metre, 1500 metre runner.
He's in 5th place, Ingebrigtsen's in 3rd, but pulling out in front at the moment for Belgium. In a good position with 3 laps to go is Bashir Abdi. And the big cheer from the Estonian support because they see how well Tidrik Norm is doing at the moment. An Olympian and a winner in this event previously. And David McCarthy finished 4th in this event last year. Ingebrigtsen 3rd, McCarthy 4. Then a little bit of a gap. Portuguese in 5th place is Rui Pinto. And then in 6th is Platonov of Belarus. They're strung out quite a bit now. Little gap between the top 4 and the rest.
Yeah, you can take it the race is on when you see them all stretched out in single file like that. Abdi is really pulling it away. He must be nervous of the Estonian finish and of course the Norwegian, who was probably the strongest finish of them all. And McCarthy is well placed there. I do hope he has enough strength now to tow himself through the last couple of laps. But this is the makings of a fine race.
Well, bridging the gap is Pinto, just behind McCarthy there. It did look to me, 2 laps to go, for a while as if the top 4 were going to bring themselves clear. Here's the latest scoreline. Ireland in 7th place. Good result from McCarthy in this. If he finishes well enough ahead of the Portuguese, I think no higher than 7th is likely now for Ireland. Belarus, Finland, Norway in the promotion places. Hungary as good as relegated. Slovenia not that far off. And Lithuania in the position where Estonia were last year. And look where Estonia are now.
there's every likelihood we're going to score higher points than last time round, so if that can drag us up a place, that will be good news. McCarthy's in a real dogfight here.
Brunvita of Norway in the javelin. It's a foul.
Now there's our bell with a lap to go on the 3,000.
And David's in a good position. He's in the top three. And Ingebrigtsen, the man who finished fourth in the Dream Mile at the Bislett Games in Oslo, is leading the back. But McCarthy strongly in third place. And the Estonian in fourth at the moment, Norma. And the Belgian also up there, Bashir Abdi.
Okay, McCarthy is running very well. Abdi is flat out there in second place. So McCarthy, if he could just hang on to him, may take him in the straight. The Norway, he's got his jump, but he's not going any further at this point in time. McCarthy is running a very fine race now, coming off the bend, ready to kick past Abdi. And if he can maintain that momentum, this race isn't over yet.
Ingebrigtsen's going to win this for Norway, there's no doubt. McCarthy in the top four, but where? Abdi's trying to push away. Norma, supported by the home crowd. Big surge for him. Similar for McCarthy last year. Ingebrigtsen, Norma, Abdi and McCarthy just edged out into fourth place. He finished fourth last year, finished fourth this. Inspiration from the home crowd saw Norma move up into second. Henrik Ingebrigtsen wins it. David McCarthy fourth for Ireland. Another good result, and Ireland finished ahead of Portugal. That should make seventh secure for a second consecutive year with 2 track events to come.
Yeah, very fine run by McCarthy. He gave it his all down the straight. He could have got anything there between second and fourth. Unfortunately, he just got nosed out by Abdi for the third place. If there's one thing David seems to lack, it's a little bit of strength over that last lap. He has speed, he has the class, he's a fine athlete and he competes well. Just that little bit of strength seems to let him down there, and that's what it was over those last 50 metres. Strength, not speed.
Well, he's such a packed programme. He had the second fastest non-qualifying time ever for a 3,000 metres final in Sopot at the World Indoors back in March. It was a very good display from him there. Good display here. I don't believe he's actually on the funding programme at the moment, so it's friends and family and sponsors looking after him.
Yeah, he would be eyeing the 1,500 metre qualification for Zurich, and he's very close to it, so hopefully he will make it. This race will bring him on, and now he can go on the circuit and chase that qualifying time. So a positive result, another one for Ireland from the men's team captain David McCarthy of West Waterford AC. Did very impressively indeed, and that's how they've been keeping the track dry. You've got to say our spread of results from 400 metres through the distance events and then also taking in the hurdles has been fantastic. Some great points there, and they've accumulated as to why we are pushing for our best ever score here. David has thrown another 9 points into the pot there. I'm confident the relay team will throw a good bit in as well, and hopefully will go close to winning. They did win last year, and we don't need to remind you at this stage, on our team we have 2 individual winners from yesterday, so they're going to want another little taste of that staticism.
Yeah, and they won last year as well, don't forget, in that took all 10 points. Matash with a foul for Estonia, and he stays in 4th place. For Portugal now, Elder Pestana. Matthew Martin currently in 11th position here. Pestana with some solid throws around the 65s. It's been a damp old day in Tallinn. A little bit chillier than it was yesterday. That won't do him any better, to be honest. Well, Ethan Hickey finished 10th for Ireland in the women's hammer, picked up 3 points. The men's triple jump, Dennis Finnegan was 11th. Men's pole vault, we have the result in now. Competition went on a long time. Ian Rogers, 11th place, picking up 2 points. Well, Sean Ruddy is watching us online in Sydney, and Fiona Marsh, sister of Anne-Marie McGlynn, did very, very well here. She's enjoyed the weekend and the coverage. Clodagh Higgins in Tyrone, so she feels very inadequate watching all the outstanding Irish performances, and a great performer down through the years, and a very good coach in his own right now, Colin Griffin, enjoying the coverage too. Well, we followed you around the world as well. Throwing for Hungary now in this javelin is Zoltan Magyari, Ruskinen and Martin to go in this final round, and we'll stay with Martin for the moment. The relay's underway in 15 minutes time.
And of course we've 4 relay races to look forward to. As in the sprints, they're seeded 1 to 6 and then 7 to 12. So our men will be in the second heat. Our women, I'm not sure, are they in the first heat, Will?
Well, I can give you the lineups for Ireland. In the men, Lynch, Murphy, Barr and Gregan in that order. And in the women, in order, Sinead Denny, Jessie Barr, Ciara McCallion and Christine McMahon. And we'll see them shortly. Ruskinen in second place for Finland, the former leader, 78.11, 78.06, his best so far. I think he's just improved it. A supreme effort from the Finn. He judged the throw right. He'll improve by a metre or so if he does improve. Just short of 80. Everything's been kept around the same mark. Ruskinen improves. He's back in the lead. 79.62. Matthew Martin of North Down, 20 years old, remember? Of the 12, he is 12th. 60.86 followed by a foul. You have to put a lot into this to get a few further points on the board for Ireland. Well, it came down pretty sharpish. And even 10th would be fine. That would be 3 points. Mind you, any athlete who has 3 fouls in the field, no points for your country. Well, that's not 60 metres. Stepped out, Matthew Martin, 12th place, 1 point for Ireland. That's the finishing position. The relays to round off the weekend in Tallinn. That's on the way next, live on Irish TV. Into the final hour of action at these European Athletics Team Championships in Tallinn. And here's one of the home favourites in the javelin, doing very well. Risto Mestas. Matthew Martin has finished 12th for Ireland in the men's javelin. That was 1 point. His first major international competition. Relays to follow. The women's 4x4 followed by the men's. They haven't released the lane draw yet for that, or indeed the seedings, but I would imagine Ireland should be in the second heat of the men's, which would be a 5, although they were in the first last year. That might not necessarily be a bad thing either.
No, it was certainly very memorable last year when they won the first heat, and then everybody looked on in amazement and excitement when they realised that the second heat wasn't being won any faster. So the Irish team ended up winning overall, and it was really exciting. It brought a great climax to a wonderful weekend in Dublin last year. It'd be wonderful to win the relay again, because there is something about the 4x4 that brings a crowd alive at a track meet. It is probably the most exciting track event of all when it's competed for well, as it always is in an international type of championship.
Very, very good competition. I imagine a lot of people will be looking at the results and say, well, the track results were fantastic, superb. So how do you bolster things up in the field? Because I mean, as I say, we have had various seasons best throughout the field competitions, and yet, you know, picking up 9th places, 10ths, which has nullified some of the good work in the track, although again it is looking like a joint record best performance for Ireland, so mustn't grumble.
Yeah, you can't hide away from the fact that the field events didn't contribute as much as you would have hoped that they would, but I would think on the positive side that it's highlighting the fact that we are weaker than we would like to be in the field events at the moment, and you know that we need to sharpen the effort in terms of producing the field events performances, because what a difference even 4 or 5 top 6 performances in the field events would probably have us pushing for promotion, and we're very close there. I mean, that's almost the perfect track performance, really. It would be very hard to reproduce a track performance of that level all the time, so it's going to be difficult. So we've got to shore up where we're weak and get field events contributing more. It's just disappointing, I suppose, but I don't want to be hard on anybody who's working hard in the field event sector around the country. There are, of course, we've had absolute field event greats in the past. When you're looking at the javelin there, and you remember the days of Terry McHugh. You're looking at all the great hammer throwers we've had over the years. Not so long ago, since Nicky Sweeney was very high up in the World Championship in the discus, we had Victor Costellos, and we had the Jerry McAvoys, and the Colin Quirks, and all these type of people. And I'm sure we're not that far away from having a few of them again, but we just gotta work on that.
Ruskinen led for most of it for Finland, was overtaken in the 3rd round by Matija Kranic, but Ruskinen responded with the final throw of the 3rd round, and he wins 79-62. Kranic 2nd for Slovenia, Spiridan Lebesis 3rd for Greece, with Risto Mastos 4th for Estonia. 12th for Ireland, and Matthew Martin from North Down AC. 60 metres 86, his first international competition. He will improve, though sadly the weather is not. It's getting worse.
What all of this is really doing is it's whetting our appetite for the European Championships in Zurich in a couple of months' time. It will, to know that we have a team of such strong athletes going there, and we're going to have very, very realistic medal chances across a broad spectrum of events. Our winners, all of our winners over the weekend, are going to have outstanding chances of not only making finals but competing for medals. Thomas Barr he's just so exciting, really, and his arrival this year, I know he's been around for a few years, knocking on the door, coming through and all that, but to the general Irish public, they are now going to wake up and become aware of Thomas Barr, and he is a charismatic type of guy. He has a good personality, so he's a good sale factor for the sport. Well,
you just caught sight temporarily of the person who was Dick Hooper in Athlone a few months ago, Jesse Barr, who had a very exalted commentary debut at the Athlone IT Indoor Grand Prix.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful day for the Barr family to have Jesse on the women's 4x4 and Thomas on the men's 4x4 on the one afternoon in Tallinn. Great honour for that Waterford family. Now,
you'll see there's a bit of work being done on the track. It is a very tight off-air time, I should tell you, and I do hope none of the races are going to be delayed, because we are due to be off immediately after the second heat of the men's 4x4.
Yeah, I do hope they can extend the coverage to make sure that we do finish off and see all the 4x4 races, because they are thrilling events in their own right.
Well, we should have athletes stripped off by now for the start of the women's 4x4. They've scheduled 10-minute gaps between the start of each race, but right now the track is getting absolutely saturated.
We'll have to invest in a few of them for Santry. They'd come in handy.
I think it was the Ulster Grand Prix a few weeks ago up north. Conditions were much worse than this.
You do feel at home here though, don't you, with that weather?
You have to have a summer sometime. It snowed in Tallinn last week, in June.
Well, thanks be to God we missed that.
Don't speak too soon. You can see Sivalainen, the long jumper there, who had that wonderful reaction every time she jumped in the long jump. She looked as if she was utterly miserable. It was sort of half smile, half grimace. Obviously speaking up with her parents now. Looks like Ireland have been seeded, by the way, in this first heat of the women's 4x4.
The Irish women's record is 3 minutes 27.48 seconds. It was set in the World Championships in Daegu in 2011, and for the record that team was Marion Andrews, now Heffernan of course, Joanne Cudahy, Claire Bergen and Michelle Carey, so that's a pretty good record.
All things are possible. We've a new off-air time of 3:30, so stay with us. We can stick with the delay. A short delay, not a long one. It's a really good event. I mean, for years Ireland competed in this, and I remember there were highlights when the Europa Cup was held in Dublin in '89 on the day, which was really impressive. I think perhaps also 95, 97 way, when the Europa Cup had been on before.
You're testing my memory bank there, Will. Keep talking.
And then obviously we came back to Santry last year, 2013, and actually that really was terrifically organised, and it was great to be involved in that, great to be involved in this. Thank you everybody for watching, by the way. It's been a really good weekend, and let's see if we can do this again sometime. But it's been very positive a weekend for Ireland. The results have been great. Pretty much across the board track-wise. Ireland are in the first heat of this. Heat is not a word you'd use terribly often today.
No, it's getting more and more miserable as the afternoon goes on, so probably the sooner they get started with these events the better, not risk waiting for another shower, which could put us in need of those machines again.
So the first heat of the women's 4x400 metres relay. Slovenia, Belgium, Lithuania, Ireland, Portugal and Hungary. And the four for Ireland in this: Sinead Denny, Jessie Barr, Ciara McCallion and Christine McMahon. They'll feel at home with this weather.
Sinead ran in the individual event yesterday. She ran 55.05, her fastest 400 metres of the season, so she'll be attuned with the general atmosphere of the event, so hopefully she can give the team a strong start and they can be competitive. It's very important to be competitive in a 4x4, because if you get detached it's very difficult to make up ground.
A good Belgian field for this. Klaes Hannah Klaes, should I say. Kimberly Fournier, Cynthia Bolingo Mbongo, who we saw earlier, or Mbongo Bolingo, and Justin Grille, who we saw yesterday. Lithuania, who've got Inga Juriskaina, Agna Sekschneina, Elga Steisenaita and Modeste Moraskaita. Slovenia, who we just passed through earlier, Yunea Smonka, Inya Roynik, Yulia Paprotnik and Anita Horvats. Slovenia in 2, Belgium in 3, Lithuania 4. hear a few Irish in the house. Denny, Barr, McCallion, McMahon, therefore. Jessie Barr in the relay, not in the hurdles this weekend. Last 4 or 5 years, as you will all know, Ireland have been very, very good in the relay. We're on to generation next now, though. Portugal in 5, Silvia Cruz, Andrea Crespo, Felipe Martins and Miriam Tavares. Hungary in this also. Knesai, Palestai, Kerry and Kaptor. Kaptor won earlier in the 200. So all the way, first time in the first heat to the women's 4x400 meters relay. It's Slovenia, Belgium, Lithuania, Ireland, Portugal and Hungary. Sinead Denny starting off for Ireland. Good start by the Portuguese. Hungary also in the outside lane, in lane 7 of the 8. The wet conditions earlier had seen everybody moved all the way up into the outside. Certainly it's perhaps spilling off the infield into the inside lanes, but it's been solid enough so far for Sinead Denny in the opening leg. Portugal leading, Hungary going well, Ireland not too badly either, pretty much up with the pace, which is more than what you can say for Slovenia. But so far so good for Ireland and for Portugal, and it'll be Sinead Denny next on schedule. It should be Jessie Barr on the way.
Okay, Sinead's running a strong race. It's always difficult to evaluate until the staggers unfold on the back straight on these 4x4s. Sinead looks like she's handing over in 3rd place. It's a good strong start from her. Jessie Barr now in action, in the footsteps of her brother yesterday. Let's see what Jessie can do, but she's got off to a good start. She's running strongly. And is it the Portuguese in the lead there?
Yeah, very much looking like it. Lithuania trying to make their way up in the backfield. Slovenia well down, going very, very well along the line at the moment. Jessie's found herself pushed back into 5th place here, and it's a very strong advantage at the moment. And she's struggling. Lithuania, Belgium, Hungary, Portugal trying to fight back in 5th place at the moment. Jessie Barr coming into the home straight. Belgium hitting the front now with Cynthia Bolingo and Bongo, and she will change first. Lithuania changing now, and a little bit of a slip, but Lithuania just managed to do it cleanly before the fall. Ciara McCallion taking it up for Ireland now, having received from Jessie Barr, moves up into 4th place, well into her stride. Lithuania, Belgium, Portugal, Ireland, the 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment in this penultimate leg.
Yeah, Ciara's running very well down the back straight, competing very well. This is all about staying in touch, getting as high a placing as we can, as good a time as we can, so never give up here, because every second, every place counts here. Ciara's running very well, she's hanging in there, and when the straight unfolds, who knows who might tie up. So come on, Ciara.
Well, she's doing her best to stay in the 4 here, but it's a strong Lithuanian lead. Belgium fighting hard. She's gone back into 5th place again, is Ciara. Lithuania, here's the final changeover, and they've got a really good advantage here. Belgium doing their best to keep up. Belarus pushed their way up into 4th place. Final changeover for Ireland. Ciara McCallion up to Christine McMahon. She is in 5th place. It's Lithuania, Belgium, Portugal, Belarus, Ireland, Slovenia.
Okay, it's going to be difficult for Ireland to make up much ground here. We're tailed off 5th at this stage. Good race up front. Lithuania, Portugal just after passing Belgium, and the Portuguese girl finishing very strong, but Lithuania have a very, very strong lead. It's going to be hard to see them getting caught here. So let's see what time they record, and let's see how far we are behind and how that leaves us standing.
Yes, it's going to be a Lithuanian victory here in their fight against relegation. This could just keep them up. Now Ireland moving into 4th place with Christine McMahon. It'll be a big battle for 2nd place. Lithuania get the victory, and 6 points at least for them. Belgium in 2nd, Portugal 3rd, and Ireland in 4th. Oh, look behind you. Belarus were in 5th place. Christine McMahon was not caught on the line. She came through in 4th position. So that will be at least 4th and at worst 10th for Ireland, depending how things go in the 2nd heat. Lithuania, well, they had a changeover of some difficulty, but they managed to get it round. Slovenia got round as well. And it's 4th place for Ireland in this opening heat.
Yeah, Christine ran a very good leg on the last leg to pick off the 5th placer, so she did her bit there. Probably a little bit of a disappointing result given what's to come now with the stronger heat, but sure, we'll see how it all unfolds. But isn't 4x400 metre running, isn't it really exciting to watch it unfold and to see the speed and the grace with which these athletes run over the track?
Well, that was a smashing display. Lithuania leading pretty much from the opening changeover, and they weren't going to be denied here. Now that might have been the race, of course, for her for 7th place, or it might have been the victory. And well, Christine McMahon took her foot off the pedal with about 5 meters to go. If it was 6, then there might have been trouble. But that was fine. She got 4th place overall.
Now the scoring of the
Paddy Barnes taking it in as well today, and saw you very, very briefly on Friday night. Excellent boxing bill up at the waterfront in Belfast. Was working alongside Carl Frampton, whose commentary debut was as good as Jessie Barr's. Marcus Hastings watching us in Florida, and all of you down at DMP in God's own country. Oh dear, Ireland now down to 8th place. That's after 38 events. A couple of events still to go, and Ireland won't do any better than 7th now. There's no fear of relegation. Hungary are almost down. Belarus, Norway, Finland. So that would be 2 of the 3 who went down last year. Look as if they're on their way back up. Finland in a strong position. Lithuania were the other team relegated from the top flight last year, and well, need to strengthen up a bit maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult now. Well, don't forget Portugal beat us in that relay there, so they're going to garner a point or 2 ahead of us there. So, but then of course we've got our men's 4x4 to come, so maybe they can throw something strong in.
We will have the second heat coming up. Ireland 3:39.40, Lithuania, Belgium, Portugal, the 1, 2, 3. And let's have a little look before heat 2, which obviously involves the other 6 nations, of coming attractions on this channel. Yep, back again in Tallinn for the second heat of the women's 4x4 on the final day, the final hour of these European Athletics Team Championships. Ireland in 8th place at the moment after 38 events, doing very well in the track. Just calculating at the moment how well. Very well, I can tell you. Belarus, Estonia, Finland, Romania, Norway and Greece are the 6 who are in this. Ireland 194 points, best scorers on the track. Norway 183, and then you've Estonia 161, 3rd best of the weekend. Greece 4th, 151. So the second heat in the women's 4x4 is underway. Belarus, Estonia, Finland, Romania, Norway and Greece are the 6 in this, in a weekend in which the best performers overall on the track have been Ireland.
Yeah, talking about this particular event from an Irish perspective now, the figure to keep in mind is that our girls there did 3:39.4. So we're hoping that the entire field here will be slower than 3:39.40, which is not going to happen. So it's the hope that a few of them will be anyway, just to get us a higher points. It's all about points. It's all about getting as high as you can in this particular event. This is a team event.
Well, it is the team event, the usual team event, as part of the Team Championships, this 4x4 relay. Norway have started this very well, and Romania will get the changeover first ahead of the Norwegians. Well, that was pretty much neck and neck. Romania lead Norway, then it's Greece in 3rd, and the rest seem absolutely nowhere at the moment. Belarus are up in 4th, and I think it's the home nation Estonia who have been the 3rd best overall in terms of the track. Well, when the all get in line, they'll find themselves in 6th place. Romania very, very solid advantage as the rest are trying to keep up at the moment. I can tell you the temperature, by the way, has now dropped to 7 Celsius. This is midsummer weekend. This is the weekend where the sun doesn't set. Norway trying to set the sun on Romania here. They're in the lead in this second leg. Norway lead Romania, Finland in third, Belarus 4, Greece 5, Estonia well back in 6. Here's the middle changeover. Everybody's got it absolutely right so far, and the lead has changed hands.
I'm getting hopeful for Ireland here. A few of these teams are getting tailed off. What you got to take into account is at this stage of the meeting, most of these athletes have run in another event, have competed in another event. There's residual tiredness has set in. They may be coming off a poor performance. Their form may be down, their mood may be down or whatever. And so it affects the overall team and vice versa if they're up front. But right now, as you look at that race, you can see that there's 4 teams in contention and there's 2 teams hopelessly tailed off. Now, if they keep tailing off, that puts 2 more points in the bag of Ireland. So let's watch this unfold.
Well, this is the stadium that stages the European Under-23 Championships next year. Here's the final changeover. Romania back in front, Norway in second place. And they're well ahead of the rest, who are really struggling here. And it's turned out to be, right now, a one-horse race. Tallinn 2015 will be interesting. Tallinn 2014 has been a lot of fun. It's a long run out here. Norway and Romania are the 2 nations who've dominated, and just look at how strung out the top 4 are now. Absolutely miles in front. There's no doubt about the result anyway. Romania tried to defend their position for a long time. For a long, long time. It's going to be success for them. Romania lead. Norway had thoughts about winning it. They're trying to defend silver behind Belarus for the moment. Romania will win the final women's race. Norway, Belarus, Greece. Estonia were last. Finland were 4th. Greece 5th. Estonia 6th. A lot of blue at the back. Lots of blue at the front with some yellow mixed in. Romania take the honours.
Yeah, just anxious to see that winning time, because I calculated 4, 6 and 9 seconds behind the leaders for the final 3, so that could kick in and to our advantage. So we're going to move up a couple of spots here. Very emphatic win by Romania. Really strong performance, decimated the field really. That race probably not quite as exciting as it could have been by virtue of the fact that Romania totally dominated it.
Yeah, they did very much from start to finish. Norway made it awkward for them for a long time, but fell back and did very well to defend second place in the end, I must say.
I think you'll find that Ireland might have moved up to 7th there.
Lots of positivity with Zurich just 2 months away.
So these girls are in party mood now. Their weekend's work is over and you can sense a general party atmosphere generating in the stadium now with just one event to go, the men's 4x4.
These championships normally have a banquet and a party and a disco afterwards.
The next time the European athletics family will gather will be Zurich for the big one in August.
Well, there was never any doubt about the winner of this, but it had to be defended in the closing leg for Norway to hold on to second ahead of Belarus, and it was. Disappointment, I would imagine, for Estonia that they finished 6th and last in this heat. It may be 6th overall and 7 points for them, but that very much depends on how the 2 results integrate.
The Romanian team as a winner of the women Euro 18, we can be sure that into the 2 positions and the Norwegian. Brown is doing a good job there.
Well, next year Russia will host the Super League in Cheboksary. I'm afraid I don't know either. Romania, Norway, Belarus, the 1-2-3. Estonia 6, 342.56. The result of that second heat. And they don't, by the way, pick the other venues for the first and the second league until they work out who's in that division next season. Baku will definitely host the fourth flight in the third league because that's being integrated with the new European Games.
Based on the result of that relay, I think Ireland should be 8th overall in the relay.
We have the men's relays to finish off the weekend, and that will be featuring Ireland in the opening heat. Lynch, Murphy, Barr, Gregan, the four going in this. Hungary, Lithuania, Portugal, Belgium, Ireland, Slovenia. Ireland among the lower 6 seeds, but that didn't bother Ireland last year when Ireland won overall. One of only 2 Irish victories last year, 4 this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they seed these. We should actually be seeded in the top one. It must be based on the personal bests of all the athletes, just done as a straight add up. I'm not quite sure, but look, not to worry. We last year we did it from the lower rung, and no reason why we can't do it from the lower rung again today. It looks like on paper we have a stronger team, and I'm sure all the fellas are up for it.
Ireland finished 7th overall last year, winning only 2 events. The field results were better last year. There were more top 6, top 7 finishes. Not as many this time around, and just to repeat, the best track performers have been Ireland. They've won more points on the track than anyone else here.
Team scoring points.
I tell you what, you can have your Grand Prix meets and your organised time trials and everything like this. A weekend's competition like this is vastly superior to all that kind of stuff. This is what athletics is about. This is really great competition.
Well, you'll never get unanimity on many things, but I do know there are some international events which some of the Diamond League meetings leave some people quite cold. Maybe not quite as cold as the weather's been in Tallinn this weekend, but that's a different story.
The Irish record for the 4x400 metre men's is 3:03.73. It was set in August 2002 at the European Championships in Munich, and the team on that occasion was Rob Daly, Paul McKee, Anton Burke and David McCarthy. Not Waterford David McCarthy, Lily White David McCarthy. A good time too.
Well, what a weekend it's been for Thomas Barr. New Irish record and the double this year.
Lane 2, Hungary. Marcel Diaknaji, Babar Pastor,
one of 4 Irish winners this weekend, along with Brian Gregan, who's also in this.
Rokas Papchevicius, Viktor Markovski, Vitali Pozdov, Mantas Rainis. Lane 4, Portugal, João Pereira, Jorge Paula, Ricardo dos Santos, Antonio Rodriguez.
It's a good Irish quartet. Normally Ireland decent enough in the relays. Haven't seen the men terribly often in European or World Championships, indoor or outdoor. The talent is there.
Good to see Craig Lynch from Shercock AC get a chance here in what is a very good relay team. That's a very progressive club and a real athletic club, because they're regular contestants in the National League and they cover all the events. Good walkers, good steeplechasers, good right across the board. Very good club. Craig is representing Shercock today. So the Irish team here have a title to defend. Let's defend it with dignity.
So underway, the final event of Irish interest: Lithuania, Portugal, Belgium, Ireland, Hungary and Slovenia are the 6 in this. Craig Lynch in the opening leg for Ireland. Brian Murphy, Thomas Barr and Brian Gregan we will be seeing shortly. Lynch trying to get a good solid run in here, and he's overtaking the Slovene, who was 2 lanes out from him. This is a very good start. This is a brilliant start.
Oh, Craig's job here is to keep us in touch. He's doing more than that. He's leading off with great gusto. Big strong lad, and if he can hold a strong position in the top 3 here, I would be very happy with that performance. But he's going to set us off in a very good position with Brian Murphy, the national champion, to take over, and Brian always is a very reliable 400 metre runner.
Belgium will change first ahead of Ireland. Slovenia and Portugal are next in 3rd and 4th, followed by Lithuania. Well behind. Ireland in 2nd place though. Brian Murphy comfortably there. It's a good Belgian lead at the moment, ahead of Ireland. Portugal way back in 3rd, Belarus and Slovenia. Right now it's about the top 2, and that's gratifying. Brian Murphy holding up in the 2nd place. So far so good. Brian Murphy running a very strong leg there and closing in on the leading Belgian. If he could just get up onto his shoulder, job done. Come on, Brian. Well, it's Thomas Barr, the national 400 metres hurdles record holder, who's next in leg 3. Murphy to Barr. Belgium changed first. Ireland in 2nd place. Rest are way behind. Looks like Hungary have moved up into 3rd place, wearing slightly unusual colours for them, battling with Portugal for 4th place, Slovenia back in 5th. This is so far so good for Ireland. Doesn't matter that this is heat 1. A fast time will be very helpful indeed. Absolutely. Belgium. Thomas Barr now, as befits a 400 metre hurdler, he'll show his strength in the straight. He looks to be closing on that Belgian. Isn't one of the Burley boys, but Thomas Barr is closing. Thomas Barr is going to finish off a great weekend by getting us very close on this. Look at this for strength. This guy, he knows no barriers. Thomas Barr in 2nd place for Ireland. Brian Gregan with a final changeover. It's Belgium and Ireland between these 2. And Gregan is exactly where he wants to be, on the shoulder of that Belgian. Let's see now, can the 400 metre champion from this meet of the last 2 years, who led us to that great victory in the relay last year, can he do it again? He's poised on the shoulder. And he's looking to make his move, to go on the overlap, to go on the outside. It's been between Belgium and Ireland all the way since towards the end of the opening leg, involving Craig Lynch. This is very good to see. And remember, it was from the first leg last year that Ireland won it. Here comes Gregan. Has Gregan got enough left in the tank? Belgium leading. Belgium look as if they're going to get the win, but it still could be a fast time for 2nd overall. It's Belgium who win it. Ireland in 2nd place, and the rest way back. Portugal, Slovenia, Hungary wearing very unusual colours, and Lithuania I don't see at all. Of course, it's tinged with disappointment that we didn't win there, but that was a very good Belgian team that beat us. Winning time of 3:04.87. Our time would have been 3:05 something. All of those lads gave their all there, and they did come very close. Belgium, of course, have figured highly in 4x400 metre relays over the years, and they have a great squad of 400 metre runners. So we mightn't be that far away with that result. We could still end up top 3, I would imagine. It was a very good performance. And you're not just racing against the 5 others in this heat, but against everybody in the next heat also. But it only goes to confirm the growing legend of Thomas Barr. What a leg he ran there to put us right back in contention. In fact, when he put us on the shoulder of the Belgian with a lap to go, you would have thought this is it, we're going to win it. Brian Gregan just couldn't produce it there on the day, but hats off to the Belgians. Very good team. Well, Ireland did superbly there. Good 2nd place behind Belgium in that heat. And just look at the final straight here. I think there was a stage just about here that Brian Gregan knew it wasn't going to be his day, and it wouldn't be a 5th victory of the weekend for Ireland, but 4 overall improves on the double what was achieved last year in terms of the wins. Oh, absolutely, yeah. We're up on that, and we're up on our seconds. We're up on our points. It's all very positive. I do hope we do get a chance to see the final relay, so as we can equate exactly where that relay team finishes. I'd be surprised if we finish outside the first 3. It was very fast, and I don't know, by the way, what Belgium were doing in that heat also. Anyway, 39 events of the 45 are being collated. Ireland in 8th. There's a chance of 7th. There's a chance of 9th.